Anyway,
What happened last time is we beat Mandau Dwyer, or so we think,
did you?
and we gave the orb. I don't know what that orb was. The orb of darkness to our friend. What the hell was his name?
Abel.
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 But we didn't want to, and he made us essentially, and we leveled it to level 7. And they offered us lands with people on them as compensation.
Yeah. So you guys took a long rest after that occurred, and you...
And Kirill fucked us.
Oh, I don't
by
remember
telling
that.
him about the guy with the gems.
Kirill
yeah,
was
he told
clearing
them-
his conscience, but we don't know he
Told them
did that.
about Wallish, and we told them about the Cambians, by the way.
But in game, I'm pretty sure he did that outside of our.
Yeah, I think so.
Group. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think we know that yet,
That's fine.
or if we ever will.
I know it.
You know it. The betrayal is real. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I imagine
Okay.
we just stopped on the long rest, right?
And so, what was your reward from the Knights of Karn? What did they offer you? Again?
Made us landed lords.
Serfs.
Yeah.
They gave us like serfs and shit. They gave us a stronghold and shit.
But I believe
all
it's
they
over
offered
in
you?
Morocco, I think.
There's something else they offered you in addition to that.
Money.
Yes, it was money.
Some money?
30,000 gold pieces, but you didn't.
Each?
Not each, total.
Each?
But you guys didn't figure out exactly how you were going to get it to you yet. It might be going to your holdings, but you guys didn't kind of find that detail out, so you're probably going to need to find Abel before you leave.
Venmo.
But you guys are all coming to consciousness the next day, and you guys get an opportunity to kind of get together as the Knights of Karn are breaking camp. For the most part, there's a few that are actually hanging around, and they're kind of like inspecting the area, is what it appears to be doing, or what they appear to be doing. But what do you all do?
One sec.
Haldir says 1 sec, walks back into his tent.
The one I
Rub
would
one out.
expect
We have
to
individual
talk
tents? I thought we were just
Yeah.
chilling in the fucking rucksacks.
Hello?
I have no idea.
Welcome
Hello?
back, Toe Knife.
Haldir?
Alright. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it's on you. What do you guys do?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought we already we already determined that he was going to send that shit to Jelrin.
Okay, so
That-
you're just gonna send it to Joe. That's fine. Yeah, I
do
remember you
think
guys
that would
discussing
be
it.
Something that
That's
we had
fine.
discussed. Because that's where we're going.
It's
And
not
then we also
exactly-
talked about how names Kirill and Misha need to figure out how they're going to hide their religious iconography.
Didn't we get some cloaks or something from them? Am I thinking of the wrong game?
I don't know.
You guys covered up your.
Yeah, as I said, it's just like
With like wet paper or something?
paper.
Yeah, you guys paid
Yeah,
from the shade onto it.
cloaks. We're gonna have, it's a traditional, guys. I'm not going to deface my shield.
Sure. Okay. So the day is yours.
Well,
Well, we were
have
heading
to-
back to the town. I think the one that was nearby.
I don't remember
thought
why
we
we
just-
wanted to go to that place, but I remember we wanted to.
I thought our mounts were there.
No, you guys
No.
picked up your mounts.
Do we
The
have
low
any
road-
reason?
Low road in was where you guys were. I'm sorry. What was the question, Yang?
No, never mind.
I would like to go back to that town.
Yeah, that's fine. I still remember why that was the plan.
I'm not sure, but it was the plan. But obviously, Tamon needs arrows. Obviously, I say it
Well,
as I flick his quiver, which is like
It's
almost.
not
that-
really a town, right? Though it's
That
just
town
like
was kind of like an
bar.
inn.
It's just a little in there, and it was like not even at a main settlement. It was just like a little inn off the side of the road. It was like over here, right? Like not even.
Correct.
Yeah, we're not even to Pixx, which. I mean,
Well, maybe we should just go to
maybe
Pixx.
I'm wrong, but I don't know if we know how big of a settlement Pixx is, or if it would have like provisions of that nature. I don't know.
From what little you know about Pixx, why don't you go ahead and roll a history check?
Sure.
We should just go to Pixx or it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. It's a smaller farming settlement that's borders the maw, and so it is occasionally harassed by creatures from that area, and it's also kind of important because it connects Jepper to Mareko, and it's the same road that takes you north to Solura as
Sure.
well. So,
I mean, if it's
like a big
regularly attacked, it would have
crossroads.
some kind of stronghold, or they have to have supplies for a place like that. I would imagine.
one could hope.
I'm not asking you. I'm just thinking out loud. So okay, yeah. I mean, we should go to Pixx then. I don't think it would. I also don't think it would make sense to backtrack tomorrow just for a few supplies.
It's not just that, Tammin. There's something I should probably. We could talk to Tao.
I'm
Misha
sorry.
says as she coughs.
How would we do that?
It's a thing we could do. If you wanted to ask him some questions.
I mean, I would love any information about that, but how would you? I'm confused.
I kind of need his head.
Didn't we cremate him?
Yes.
Matter.
did.
I just need his head.
Do you need
We
a
cremated
bone
him.
or you
Good-
need his
good
head
luck
or
with that.
bones?
I mean, you burned his body. You didn't, put him in a furnace, right?
Yeah.
So there's a skull somewhere.
The skull
the
survived, yeah.
skull-
I would imagine all of the bones would survive something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but-
actually all the bones would. We
But I
would
don't know
not
what
have
you
been able to
need
make
for
something.
his
Who's the creeper that
spell
has
I
all
don't
my bones?
understand.
Or his bones?
You buried them.
I was gonna say that's
Yeah.
probably on a pyre or a burial pyre
Am I
somewhere.
crazy? Can you not burn bones?
You
No.
can't
Super high
unless
heat.
You
you
can.
need
No, that's
super
true.
high
You can.
heat.
I mean, even in a crematorium, they kind of need a hammer to kind of like break him up.
There is that too. Yeah, it's the reason why the Ganges River is so shitty is because people cremate people on the edge of the river, with pyres, and then they throw the bones into the river.
Is that the
so she-
only reason that river is shitty?
It's one
All
of
right.
the-
Well, okay. Then we have a
Uh,
decision. to
Where?
make. Do we need this information that Misha might be able to procure for us, or do we move on to Jelrin?
That seemed kind of important. The whole reason why we were even going into this
Personally,
darker
I would go back with Misha to find any information about Tao's killer.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, we can go back to the hill.
I mean, what are you hoping to
Sorry,
find
it's not
out?
to Moro. It's to that inn.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we killed the guy who did it.
Yeah,
maybe
you didn't.
eventually.
But we
No, we
didn't
didn't.
meet any supposed mind flayer that Abel was talking about.
And we don't know what the mind flayer was after necessarily. Tao might know that.
And we kind of did zone of truth everybody.
If you push really hard with your horses, you can go back to the Long Road Inn, and if you dig very quickly, you can recover Tao's head and make it to Pixx
Yeah, we can do this when we're in Pixx.
in a day.
We just need his head.
But it'll be dark by the time you get there.
You don't need to perform this magic ritual while, like, immediately after uncovering his remains, right, Misha?
No, just his. If we could just take.
So we
his
can make a
skull
quick
with us.
trip back to the inn, grab what we need, and go to Pixx and bed for the night.
I can't wait to have Yane and Tao talk in the same accent to each other.
I was wondering how you were gonna do it.
We'll find out.
It's gonna be amazing.
Well, are there any votes against this idea?
That's fine. Let's do it.
Very well.
Okay. So you guys start to gather your things. You pack up your horses, and you do have the option of riding pretty hard if you want to make it to Pixx by nightfall, or you can kind of take it easier if you don't have that particular desire.
I'm okay with riding hard. I don't know how
I'm pretty
everybody else would
much
feel about
definitely
it.
riding hard because I want to know.
I want to get
everything
away
I
from
can
this
about
place.
This guy.
I'm riding dirty.
Alright.
I don't even have a
Alright.
horse.
Oh shit!
Oh, you're
Wait,
fucking
you don't
horse.
have a horse.
You can ride.
Side saddle
Yeah, sure.
with tow knife.
You can ride
You
on
can
my
ride Bish
celestial
with
wolf.
fucking
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's probably
whatever
the strongest one.
Kirill's horse's
Oh,
name
maybe
is.
we were gonna try and get a horse.
Was that what?
Yeah,
wait,
because that was it. Because Yane does not have a horse.
No.
there was a
There
wait,
we
there was
go.
a stable
Rock.
there.
That's what we were trying
Yeah,
to do.
okay.
It's all come together. Okay, let's go back to that
Can we
place.
ask the Knights of Garn?
Oh,
for
we
a
should have just
spare
grabbed one.
steed?
I'm just gonna take one.
They don't have any spare steeds.
I was just gonna take one.
No one
No
died.
one lost.
No one died.
What
Fuck.
the
They didn't
hell?
lose a single person.
Can I quickly kill somebody and get one?
Oh my
Whoa.
goodness.
That was
You can
very.
try.
Your
Yeah,
channeling.
this is Tal version 2.
Yeah.
Where do you think we the same person?
I understand. I'm kidding.
Came from the same place.
hmm
All right, so you guys ride quickly back to the Low Road Inn, but somebody's doubled up with Yane, and Yane is not a small man, so probably Kirill
Kirill's horse.
and Yane.
The
Kirill
magical
off.
horse.
The magical
Taman's
horse,
pretty
yeah.
small though.
Yeah,
I mean,
but the brown
Hammond
boy
could
is just a
very
skinny
neatly
bitch.
fit in Yane's
Who's
lap.
who's in front and who's in back? I think we
Yeah,
should
I'm
rock,
gonna have
paper,
to
scissors
ask
for
you.
it.
I'm gonna have to ask you to put on a shirt for this.
No, I don't own any. Just enjoy it. Just have my skin against the metal of your
Oh
armor.
my god.
It's a bit frosty this morning. It's getting
It's gonna be
chilly.
body hair and sweat on my fucking arm.
No, there's no body hair. Totally bare.
Oh
He's one
boy.
of those soy boys.
That sounds
Alright.
way better, but way worse at the same time.
All right. So after not even an hour's ride in the morning light, you guys make it back to the Low Road Inn. You can see that there are a good number of people getting prepared to leave. As you remember, the last time you were here, that there was kind of like a backlog of people who were trying to go up to Pixx, or were previously headed tomorrow and then lost some people along the way with this darkness occurring. So everybody knows now that the darkness has passed. Whatever happened, and they are eager to continue their trade routes. So everybody's in action right now, basically. You guys probably got up a little bit earlier than them, but there's definitely a lot of movement down there at the old Low Road Inn. What are you looking for?
I'll take Taman's help, I think.
I would imagine we know where this burial occurred, right?
Yeah, we buried
It
him.
only
I
occurred like 4 or 5 days ago.
I
Well,
don't
that's what I mean.
Seriously.
My point is
Probably
we don't have to
some
do any
smell.
like searching or investigating.
No, but I don't want to take Kirill with me because I feel like this would be
Very against his religion.
against his. Yeah.
Sure,
like,
sure.
You guys can help Yane with his horse.
Sure.
I can go do it by myself. I don't need any help.
Okay, you do that.
I'm just imagining Misha holding her adopted brother's skull, like Illidan with the skull, just like holding on to him, like, "Whoa, what's up?"
I totally told Tom, I was like, I'm gonna Hamlet this so hard.
Oh no.
Sure.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Alas, poor Tao, he died like a bitch.
So Yane, you can acquire a horse for 150 gold pieces.
Okay, yeah.
And that's pretty standard going rate. And it's not a great horse. It's old. It's seen some years.
It's better than walking.
It's better than walking, but you're not too sure how long this old bitch will last.
It's fine.
All the same, he doesn't really have anything else. A lot of people are actually buying up his stock or whatever he had left because they're leaving. In any case, you can mark off the gold, and you have now a horse. And Misha and Tammin, you guys head up to that hill behind the inn where you buried Tao, and you start to dig.
Yeah, I'll help her.
Mhm.
Imagine you have a couple of spades in your inventory,
Sure.
or you can pick some up from the stable.
Probably, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, where you have neatly packed Tao's bones, there it still rests after digging for a few minutes. Soil still a bit loose, but it's a bit frosty in the morning, so the ground's a little hard.
Since I was one of the people who laid him to rest, I'm going to know where I put the skull. I'm going to try to be very careful about that.
Sure. Why don't you guys make a dexterity check as you exhume these corpses? Or this corpse,
20.
rather.
What are you doing, Yane? Yane teleports behind you. Nothing.
Okay,
personal.
so
Just like look over at you.
Tammin, with the instruction of Misha, his small, delicate hands, is able to exhume Tammin's or Tao's bones without any damage to them.
Tammin has small, delicate hands.
I'm very scrawny, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
that's
a skinny
okay.
bitch.
Dainty boy.
Not quite as small as my hands, but pretty small.
I want to wrap his skull up in some cloth and put it in my pouch so it's secure.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
I'm gonna put that on my inventory sheet.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend doing that. Yeah. And then you bury the rest of his bones, or you taking them with you?
Well, since Yane is now here, is there a way you think he would like us to honor in your tradition?
I don't think we have any traditions. We can take his bones. It doesn't really matter.
Just need the skull, really.
Yeah, then let's take the bone. Let's take the skull. Let's leave it. He doesn't
Alright.
matter much to me.
That's a little cold.
He's already dead.
I say as like we rebury the rest of him.
All right. So with Tao's bones in hand, you guys begin the journey to Pixx. And you guys ride through most of the morning. Your steeds get pretty tired around noon. So you guys probably stop to take a lunch. It's still pretty crisp. There's a nice cool autumn breeze pulling from the west. And you're not exactly sure what weather looks like down here. So that's not, you're not super far away from Solura, but you're closer to the mall than you have been in previously. So it's possible that winter is on the horizon within the next couple weeks or so, which is definitely something to be mindful of, as most of these roads will become completely unusable by that time, or in that time.
Is this way more populated because more people were leaving the inn as well too?
It is, but you guys are traveling pretty light, so most of the people there were traders and stuff of that nature, or people with families, so they're not necessarily riding. You kind of outpace them pretty quick.
It seems like this is the only way west, south of the Maw, too, for a very long time. Unless you're going all the way down toward Mareko, the Lord's Port. So I would imagine this is a quite heavily traveled road.
It is. Not incredibly so, just because Mareko and Jepper are not on particularly good terms. But yes, it's definitely more well traveled than most of the roads in Solura. That's to be fair. So with lunch adjourned, you guys continue to head out, and starts to get a bit dusky, and you guys start to see smoke from chimneys and small farmsteads to your left and across the river. and you see that you're kind of entering into Pixx, the outskirts of Pixx, as night starts to fall. You guys keep on riding pretty hard.
Yeah, until my horse dies.
Make a Constitution save for your horse at -2.
Ooh.
Wow.
It's sturdy.
Gotta
Wow,
well
that's
rested.
+7 to Constitution.
a horse is a
so-
god. Rolled a 21 with a -2.
Also has a +7, so.
Actually,
Yeah,
it
so
rolled a
that should-
16
Well, yeah, it
minus
doesn't
2,
have
rolled
the
a
bonus,
14.
so it's actually
No,
14.
shouldn't it be 14?
Yeah, it's 14.
No, yeah, exactly.
But
It's still not
still,
bad.
it's not doing great. But
it's,
none
it's
of them.
wheezing a little bit.
Give him a
Definitely.
nice
Yane's
meal
a
and
little.
a bowl
he's
of
a little
ale when
heavy.
we get to the inn.
A bowl of ale. Give
Yeah.
it diarrhea.
What's this place look like, Tom?
So as you guys start to approach what you imagine to be the town proper, you can see the outline of a few tall buildings. But the architecture is a lot of tiles, and for the most part, the village that kind of surrounds the town center is it's fairly nice. Better class than you've seen in a lot of places. It's not really up to the same kind of snuff as like one of your bigger cities like Unum, but it's much better than Sansudi. I mean, it's a nicer town than where you were born, that's for sure. Everything looks pretty neat and orderly as you guys kind of pull into the town center. You are drawing from some few folk that you do see out at dusk. Some looks. You guys are kind of like well-armed individuals riding with pretty good haste into town. So every once in a while, you'll see kind of some kids scurry off the road ahead of you, or a guy who's on the road will kind of like duck away and wait till you guys pass. As you get closer,
Is there like a gate or walls or not really?
actually, as you get close to the town square, there is a kind of like postern gate. That's just this large wooden gate, kind of like if you would imagine in Lord of the Rings when they enter into Bree. There's just this kind of like big gate, but to the left and right of it, there's like you just walk around it pretty much. But yeah, I mean, there is something that stops your way. You can kind of see that as dusk is rolled in, so I have some darker clouds from the north. So it might rain sometime soon.
We should find shelter.
Yeah. So as you guys kind of approach that postern gate, unless you want to do anything prior to it.
Maybe we should have a story straight.
Do the townsfolk here seem particularly fidgety? I say as I watched one of the people run away.
You can make an insight check, I guess. You would say that they are. That it's quite possible that they're surprised to see people from the south, because of what was transpiring down there. Maybe news hadn't reached Pixx yet. But other than that, you guys are just kind of ugly looking guys. So not, ugly in the traditional sense. Ugly like you could fuck somebody up ugly, So it's pretty standard for a peasant to get out of the way of fully armored men on horses.
So if we go with a story and we choose different names, are people going to start calling us by our own name again? Hal, dear. And
I
Kiro.
don't remember doing that.
You guys totally did that. We totally tried to use like
I
fake
tried to
names.
use an alias, and you guys every time were like, "Oh, Tim," and like, well, especially on the fucking shipmaster's ship or whatever, all the way down to Moro.
Yeah, that was the big one. I totally forgot what it was, but I remember that.
Ember.
You guys don't remember me trying to pass myself off as Vernon, and you were like, "Oh, Tim," and I thought not. Anyway,
I don't think we need.
I don't
fake
think we
names.
necessarily need to have a,
maybe
Fake
not
names.
names,
fake
but
name, but
maybe a nice
Well,
cover story of
I
where we
shouldn't
are
say
going.
that. Fake names are probably a good idea. Telling them where we're going under fake names is probably not a bad idea. It doesn't matter.
So you guys are kind of posted up, maybe like a couple 100 feet away from this gate, and there's this.
I don't want to just be sitting there. I thought, we were like approaching or something.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Well, sure. So you guys are approaching slowly. Let's say. There's this old man. He's kind of got a house right by the gate. He's out on his deck smoking, and he sees you guys kind of riding up. And he calls out, "Hey, you guys coming up from the south, eh?"
Yeah.
Spokesperson.
Oh God.
I suppose.
You sure this isn't Tristram?
I don't know what that is. But anyways, I suppose you ain't seen that darkness, did you?
Yeah, we saw it. It's not there no
What?
more.
How'd you get around it? Boy, what do you mean it's not there no more?
I don't know. It's just not there anymore.
Oh. Well, that's good for business. Well, that means Miss Ash is gonna be leaving. That's rough.
Who?
Miss Ash, she's at the inn, the Oval Hall. This beautiful singer. Been in town for a few days because the road's been blocked. That's not really in your business, I suppose. But taps his pipe. Anyways, have a good day.
What is the name of the inn where we could find this beautiful singer?
Well, that's the Oval Hall. It's a big one on the hill. It's oval shaped.
Thank you.
You're welcome, miss.
So is he letting us through the gate?
It's not the gate guy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's
Oh,
just some
shit.
random.
I thought it
He's
was the
just
gate.
some
I thought he
bystander.
was the gate guy.
Yeah, he's just some random bitch.
I'm like
just
waiting
sitting
out
outside
front
his
the gate.
house. Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, all right.
Well, go
All right,
on now.
onward.
Don't let
onward.
me keep you.
I love it.
See you, guy.
This off.
You guys continue on towards the gate.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna just stare at him for the next 15 minutes.
That was hilarious.
Waiting for him to open the gate.
That's a nice swampy picture.
That's awesome.
All right. So you guys continue further towards the gate, and off to the left of this kind of large wooden gate, there's a small post that you can see is kind of all boarded up. And looks like there's some arrow slits that whoever is in there can like pop open and take a shot if they need to, anything like that. But as you guys approach, you don't get called out to or anything like that.
Okay.
Hello. Wait. You said like, is it open?
It's not open, but there's and then so far as you can tell, there's nobody manning the gates either. There's maybe some light coming from inside that post. You can see through like little cracks in the boards, but you don't hear anybody call out.
I'm just gonna walk up to it and try to open it.
Okay. It seems to be barred in some sense from the inside.
Hello up there.
You get no reply. Why don't you make a perception check as you kind of get a little
I'm
bit
gonna
closer?
bang on the
Misha?
gate.
Oi!
Okay.
Okay, well,
So you kind of like
it's a
tilt your
gate.
head over to the post, and you can just hear this faint bit of snoring as Tammin starts to pound on the gate, and you hear like a bottle drop out of his hands, and
I want to like hand motion like a drinking sign to my party members, and then just like do like a cock of my head.
yeah, so you hear a bit of fumbling, all of you, and then one of the little arrow slits pops open, and a man who's messing with something underneath. He's got one hand holding the door open, and he's messing with something underneath. You can't see what he's messing around with, but he is peering out into the dark. He's like, "All right, what's this then?"
There's some travelers coming through. We could be left at the gate.
Travelers coming through. What? From where?
Well, the south. The darkness cleared up, and we didn't want to be around that crowded little inn anymore. It's being stuck there for.
Oh my gosh. It's cleared up? Damn it. I'm gonna have to start working a lot more. All right. What's your names? Where do you hail from? All that sort of thing. I gotta take it down in a ledger. And honestly, I'm a little bit intoxicated, so this might take a moment.
He's so honest.
They call me Honest Turk, and that's what they call me.
It's very refreshing.
Yeah, that's a nice accent you got there, you know. So, Miss, why don't you go first? Where are you from? And what's your name? And why are you coming here?
Shit, we didn't mention where
Let's
Yes. Come on. Make something up.
Well, I'm from the Easthold.
Easthold,
And-
you're coming from the south.
It was a long trip. I'm looking at the map. That's the only place I can see.
You know, I most of the people who live in Easthold are, military types in their families. And while I do say you definitely look like a military type, why are you coming here? This is way from the action. He's supposed to be up in Solura bashing in those Neanderthals.
Lost all of my family.
Wow, that sucks.
It's like a Saving Private Ryan thing.
I'm gonna be like trying to like wipe a tear away, or maybe make a tear as I'm rubbing my eye, and be like,
Make a deception
I-
check.
Can I hand you a tear?
"You could stomp on my foot."
No, I'd probably be loving this.
Okay. Well, don't work yourself up too much, miss. I just want to know, what's your business? Why are you coming here?
I'm heading forward to see my aunt,
CR,
She-
okay.
the last of my family.
Sierra and Pixx. I know a lot of people in Pixx.
No, she's not in Pixx. But I need to pass through Pixx. So
Oh yeah, I got you. We got the bridge, we got the couple of bridges, whatever.
indeed,
All
it
right.
was the fastest way.
Sure. So, but your name, I don't know if I got that.
Sophia Tanarask.
Holy shit, you're gonna have to spell that one for me.
I'll like walk up. To the
You know what? Don't even worry about it. I'm gonna write something down.
I'll just nod my head.
All right. Okay. So
These wonderful men have decided to also help me on my quest to reunite with the last of my family.
wow, that's so nice of them. All right. You big guy with the the crazy hair. What's your name?
Brent. That's all I know.
Brent.
That's all I know.
Whatever.
He got too close to the darkness.
I mean, they say that life is just too easy for big guys like you. They ain't gotta have the smarts. That's what they say. And no, I don't say that. But
My mom told me that too.
yeah, she probably a smart lady. She probably quite a big lady too.
No, she's an idiot.
Well,
Hmm.
you didn't say she wasn't, big. So
Hmm.
I was right on one account.
Hmm.
All right, man with the big armor. You got that big sword. What's up? What do you got? What's your name?
Oh, my name is Vasily.
Silly. That's a silly name. Sorry to say. Okay,
Well, that's what my
and
parents
I
gave me.
forgot to ask you. You know, big man and you. You know, I'm asking you together. I'm backtracking here. Are you helping this lady? You know, find her aunt. What's up with that?
We're
Yeah,
trying
we
to.
actually recently helped her find a close relative.
Oh yeah.
Her
So
other aunt.
Yeah.
if I'm being honest here, but, and sorry, just 1 second. He lets the guard go down 1 second. You can hear the sound of like some liquid sloshing it. I don't know. Then he pops it back up and he wipes away his lip. He's like, all right. So, just between me and you, Brent, Viselli, which one of you guys is trying to get with her? You know,
Oh my god.
come on.
I'm gonna point over at Tammin. Not him.
Not him. Well, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense.
Or I
Why
just
would
look
you
over
say
and I'm
that?
like, what? And I do like to point at me, like, what, me? What?
This guy doesn't wear a shirt half the time, so it's him.
Well, I can see this as kind of a competition. I don't want to get into it. I was just curious. Okay. Anyways, so you're fine, but y'all come from the same place. Well, what's going on here?
Yeah, we're all from the same place.
Yeah. So what's the place?
Maybe the same region, but my name is Dmitry Vonakov. I come from
Whoa, guy, whoa.
Hey, yes.
Dimitri, hold on. I ain't to you yet. I'm talking to these two
Okay,
guys.
I'll wait my turn. No problem.
Yeah. I ain't getting this. I'm very diligent about getting this right. So, Brent, where are you from?
From the East Hold as well.
Okay. I guess that makes sense. All right. And Visali,
I was originally born up north, but currently have a residence in near Morocco.
what's north? What do you mean north? There's lots of places north.
I'm just there's just a small village on a tributary, north of Moro. Kind of small.
North tomorrow. You mind telling me which nation you serve?
It's in the weird borderlands between Chepper and Salura, Morocco.
Oh, you're
So,
one of those guys. One of those savages, huh? All right. Wouldn't have pegged you. I would have said that guy was, but looks can be deceiving, I guess. All right. Yeah, get away.
Are you drinking?
I think some people missed that
He
joke.
said
That
that he's
was a
drunk.
high quality joke.
I'll
In
hit it
any
on the replay,
case,
dude.
you, Dimitri, come on. Yes, you step on it. What's
Yes,
going on? Here?
What information you need?
That's a thick accent. It kind of sounds a bit, if I do say so, it sounds a bit Saluran to me. You hail
Yes,
from
I
Saluran?
originally from Yepper. I originally from that area, but with the recent developments on the water, yeah, you know what I mean. I want to get out of there, so I tell
I
this
can see a
woman
small
that
person
I
like
want to
yourself.
join her cause, but really I just trying to get west towards Hollow Peak.
Okay. Wow,
She's like
that was
internally
very
pretending she doesn't hear
thorough.
that and like rolling her eyes.
Very thorough story there, Dimitri. I like it. Why don't you go ahead and make a deception check?
Perfect.
3.
I believe you 100%. I mean, that's nothing can be done about that. Okay, so just come a little bit closer, just between me and you.
Oh, yes.
God.
I step
So
forward.
I was talking to those other guys, and they said that they said that you were not trying to get with that woman. I can't pronounce her name, so
What?
I no, I'm just wondering, So if you ain't going for it, and they said that, I don't know if they said that they were going for it. I was wondering.
Friend, are you interested? I may be able to
Well, no,
set you up.
I'm post guy. I am.
Post
Oh,
guy.
I don't really do any of that.
Why so much interest?
Yeah, actually, so you in the back over there, I need you to come up
I
here.
mean, you just say this stuff to my face, and
Dimitri, I'm gonna need you to step off. Thank you.
okay. I sorry. I step off now.
All right. So I can see you got some kind of like mixed stuff going on here. What's your name?
Name is Wentworth.
Wentworth. Oh man, you got somebody. Okay, that's nice. Where you come from? What are you doing here? Yada yada yada.
I'm from Skull.
Oh,
Here for the same reason all these people are.
and that is.
I was hired to be an escort through dangerous lands.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm just checking to make sure you guys got the story straight. And it'd be pretty hard to mess it up since you guys all heard, her proclaim it at the start.
Thank God.
Yeah, I gotta be thorough at least. I gotta ask. So, well, you guys can come into town. We got 2 nice places to stay, and then I don't know, sleep in like the river or something. I don't really care, but we got the Oval Hall, and man, there's.
Man, I was thinking everyone slept at their post.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. That's funny, man. You watch it, okay? All right. So I'm being nice. I'm letting you in. I'm telling you where you can stay. You come me, you say shit on me. So you watch
I
it.
was just joshing with them, dude.
Talking shit.
Yeah. So like I was saying, you got the Oval Hall, and we got this awesome bard in there tonight, and in the past couple of nights actually. So if you wanted something like that, that's where I would go. And then you got what's that guy's name? I said Bishop now, but that's not the place. It's a Currig's post. Yeah, it's another post, but it's actually an inn, and it's really nice. They got the best ale and ciders. I mean, some say it's the best in Jepper. So if you're looking for a good drink, that's where I would go. But in any case, let me go get the gate, and you guys can go through.
Thanks.
You kind of hear him shuffle around in his post, and he swings open the door. He takes a couple of missteps in the dirt, and eventually messes with a crossbar, lifts it, and swings open the gate proper so that you guys can bring your horses in about 2 at a time. He doesn't open it all the way up.
Okay.
And then he says, "All right, well, enjoy your
Get a
stay."
good look at him, like full body now that he's not behind this huge like hidden wall or whatever. How's he looking?
So he's got kind of this longer black hair that's kind of scraggly. There's a couple of braids in it, and he's got at his waist, within one hand, he's carrying a crossbow. It's not loaded. He maybe was trying to load it earlier, but who knows?
That is not what I thought he was doing with that one hand.
And he's wearing some light leather armor that's pretty well worn. He's pretty scraggly in the face, but he's very kind of the same build as you. He's not very large.
Yeah.
Who are we talking? Who's
Skinny
you?
boy?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Me.
Tammin.
Tanner.
Okay, it changes drastically who you're talking about.
This guy kind of the same build as Yane.
No, I was going to say Misha, but
Yeah, no, he's just kind of looks at you all as you just pass through, and he seems pretty perceptive for being as drunk as he is, and you can tell that he is pretty intoxicated. But yeah, you guys are in Pixx proper.
I'll stop real quick as I get through the door and regard him, and I wanted to ask him a question. Friend, what was your name again? Sorry, I forgot. I couldn't hear in the commotion.
I don't think I gave one, to be honest.
What is your name, friend?
James? Yeah, James. That's it.
I
Yeah.
see, James. I really haven't had. Well, the Epirian tea. I miss it very much. I'm looking for a place where I can grab some incense and other herbs where I might be able to brew myself some tea. Just to have some life comfort for once in a
He's
little
kind of
while.
like nodding on. He's really
Do you know a
tired.
place in town where I can get these ingredients? You'd
Oh
recommend for me?
man, I don't know. I guess you said herbs and stuff. Well, there's a temple to Cur Shanum. Maybe they would have some incense and some herbs and stuff, but really, I don't know. We don't really. It's not really a tea town, if I'm being honest.
I see.
Sorry.
Well, I will check that out. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you do that. All right. Bye. And he waltzes back into the post, shuts the door, and you can hear the clatter of a bottle.
Okay.
So you guys are in Pixx proper. The streets are cobbled here, and as you guys kind of enter into what you think is probably the town square, you can see that there's lots of shops that are all closed for the day. But you can see on a hill opposite of you, there is a large, probably 2.5, maybe 3-story building. Kind of a little difficult to tell in the dark. But you can see it's this large oval building that's set on this hill, and you can hear just even as you start to come into this town square, you can hear music like coming out into the town square from there. On the opposite side of it, and to your guys' left, as you're entering in from kind of like the south east, there is a kind of a more squat square-ish building that has Kurig's Post as a sign that's on it. You can see that there's tons of lights shining from both of these structures, and pretty much everywhere else in the square is like dead dark. There's still some people that are kind of milling about, doing their business, but for the most part, everybody's either headed home or headed to one of these inns.
And it's like pretty dark, right? It's like the end of dusk, if not already.
Yeah, after you guys have finished talking with him, it's there's just a bit of sunlight left, and that's about it.
Alrighty.
The real question is, do we want to stay at an inn with a bard, or do we want to go to one with drink?
I imagine they both have drinks.
I would go for the bit of theatrics. Bit of revelry. I'd go for the bard inn myself.
Yeah, let's go.
There we go. All right.
Okay. So you guys start heading up the hill, or rather, across the courtyard, and there's a few gnomes that are kind of standing at the door before you guys enter in, and one of them perks up and says, "Hey, cover charge is." He looks over at the other guy. 15 gold pieces.
Inside check.
Go ahead.
I want to give you guidance for this because I did not believe this for a freaking sec.
I don't think
what
any of
is
us do.
this button?
It's
Roll the
15 gold
1d4.
pieces, man. Honest word. I know you.
What about my D4, dog?
Oh. Have you ever not rolled a 1 on the guidance check?
Oh.
Like I said, honest word. 15 gold pieces, each of you. Get in there. It's packed to the
15
brim
each?
tonight,
Man,
you know.
that's
Doesn't cost no 15 fucking gold pieces to get into the
some
goddamn
strong
inn.
talent.
Most of
Oh,
the
well, it
swill in this town.
definitely does when you
Most of
got
the swill in
Raven
this
Ash
town probably
playing.
don't even have 15 fucking gold pieces.
Hey. You don't want to get in? That's fine. It's doesn't bother me none. I got half the town in there tonight. Maybe more. So,
Well, what's your boss gonna think?
he's gonna give a shit. He's making money hand over fist. And he's gonna get mad at me if I let you in without paying 15 gold pieces. So
I don't think so, my friend.
well, I don't know if you
Maybe
can hear the
you
music,
should-
but it's worth the price.
I want to nudge Kirill.
Well, if I can hear the music right here, then I don't rightly know why I'd pay 15 gold pieces to go in and hear the music.
And you can just barely hear it. It's phenomenal. She is the finest artist and a looker to boot. 15 gold pieces is a pittance. Come on.
Listen, I just pull hell to the side. Like, listen, I'm not sleeping outside again. Let's go inside.
Why don't we do this, my friend?
Kirill, you can make
And
people
I will pull out the hefty sapphire gem from my pocket, and I will produce it in front of them, and say, "Why don't you take this? It's worth significantly more than that, and we can each go our separate ways. We'll walk into the inn, and you can pocket a lot more gold."
I am not a gym appraiser, but this is appeasing.
Are your
I
eyes
guess.
working, my friend? This is a very large sapphire gem.
It could just be a colored stone for all I know. I can't take this. Just give me coin. You've got coin, right? Because you ain't got coin, then what's the point of going to anyone?
He can't just take the. Don't you see? He can't just take the jewel, because how can then he give his cut to the employer and steal some from himself?
I see. He's a
He'll have a
common
hard time with
criminal.
that.
I see. I understand.
Oh my
Kirill,
gosh.
cast Zone of
I
Truth.
wonder what the guards would do. Maybe
Can I
they're in on it.
covertly cast Zone of Truth?
All right.
No.
So here's a couple things. You obviously aren't from around here because the guards all know that it costs 15 gold to get in when Raven's playing. That's just the facts. And I mean, if you want to go complain to them, good luck finding one. They ain't fucking anywhere. They're all sent up north. So really, you can just go fuck yourself and I don't have to let you in. Or
That-
you can pay me 15 gold and, you can go
Well,
fuck
hold
yourself
on, my
in the
friend.
inn.
Nobody's fucking anyone here. We'll be.
I might fuck him.
But,
No, you will not.
I'm getting
Honestly,
pretty close.
I'm tempted
I
to
just
just
want
say
to
that
say
you
for the
can't come in
record
at
that
all.
my associates' opinions on the matter do not necessarily reflect my own, and I will gladly give you, say 50 gold for the lot of us to get in. Sound good? 50 gold. 5
Let me
people?
just do a little bit of math. I see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you, and that makes 75 gold pieces, 15 each. So you're 25 short. You make the other 25, and you got yourselves a deal.
Well, I mean, it is pure profit for you. Why not just take more customers
Oh my God.
instead of turning them away?
Dude,
I'm just gonna
It's
hand him the
just 50
25
gold,
gold.
it's
Can we just
50
go
gold that you
inside?
don't
Yeah, that's
have.
All right, I
That's
got
fantastic.
25. Now I'm going to need the other 50.
God.
I see my friend is a bit of a softie. Here's the other 50. Here we go.
Get the fuck in there. Jeepers Christ. Fucking Outlanders, man. I hate them. And you guys start walking in, I imagine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll pull
and so-
very quickly.
Once we get inside, I just keep casting prestidigitation, and it just smells horrible over there by that guy.
No.
Man, what
Yikes.
is that shit? Jeez. Foul wind on the breeze, man. All right. So you guys step in and you can see this very plush, ornate, kind of like high class inn is what you would however you kind of picture that, with themes of color as far as it goes is red and gold. And immediately your ears are filled with just this beautiful symphony of music. And you can see that everybody in the inn, which is almost filled to the pack, you're jostling people just to kind of move around in here. Everybody's eyes are glued to this stage that's kind of set on one far wall of the oval hall. And it's weird to see, but you see a number of instruments that are playing themselves. There's only one woman on stage, and she has this, as far as the most striking thing that you see is she's got this very long, dark hair that goes to like her lower back, and it's in these braids, and it's got some kind of like natural curl to it as well. And she is furiously moving between each of these instruments as she changes their patterns, their volume, their notes, and she's just moving in between. She's like basically a one-man band. and the music persists from each instrument as she steps away from it and continues to play. And everybody's just amazed. And also the sound there's something odd about it. There's something that it's like, it's not overbearing, even though, sometimes when you're in a live music environment and you're up close, it sounds like really, really loud, and you're far away, it's kind of muddled. It's very crisp, very clear, even though you guys are kind of at the back of this. And it's got this perfect volume where it's not too loud, but it's loud enough where you're just getting kind of fully enveloped in the music, and it definitely takes you in right as you guys kind of step into this large hall.
I want to look around at our party's faces and see if anybody is particularly enraptured.
Not Haldir.
Not
Haldir's
Hal.
asleep.
Yeah.
He's into dudes, anyways.
I mean, I think I would be pretty intrigued by it. I think seeing anyone control separate instruments like that is pretty interesting. Tam has never seen anything like it before.
Crap. Okay, so in that case, Misha slaps your face.
What?
It says, and she wants to look at everybody like, remember Tao. No going off with
been
strange women.
Touching people.
You were the one who looked like you were most enraptured.
Can I try to? I would like to approach the bar and see if I can
Just trying to enjoy the music, Misha. Jesus.
trying to buy a room
Hear
tonight.
the music. Don't walk away into strange dark hallways.
I'll give her
So
a
the
nod.
kind of the south and west side of the lower floor is just kind of this long wrapping bar, and there's tons of people that are working it, and for the most part, while this woman is playing, you don't see that there is a lot of people going to get a drink or anything like that. Everybody's really enraptured by the music, but you do catch the attention of one of the bar hands, who kind of pulls himself away long enough to ask you, all right, then, what do you have?
I'd like to buy a room for the night.
Certainly, it's a simple 20 gold pieces a night.
Yeah, could I get a room, a large room with say 4 or 5 beds?
We do have a common hall.
Can I have the executive suite?
That we've got a common hall that's a lot of people sleep in. I mean, it's basically just a long barracks, essentially. That's down the hill on the other side, and that runs you only 10 gold a piece a night for a bed, if that's what you want. But like I said,
Actually, let me rephrase though. Actually, only just a room with 2 beds, if possible.
that we can do. 20 gold pieces.
I hand them the gold.
He swipes it. I get you anything to drink though.
Swipes it, huh? They got credit cards.
Get me a milk.
He swipes it with
Yes!
his hands.
Oh no.
Yeah, I like to
As you guys
buy-
are kind of
I look over at me.
being a little bit boisterous,
Oh,
you get sharp looks from the other patrons. And shh.
I'm just scowling everybody.
They look away quickly.
try to
but
keep
you-
it hush hush, and I'm just like, yeah, give me a few tankards and a glass of milk.
All right.
We keep the milk going.
Sheep's milk.
Let me have a
Yeah.
glass of your finest brandy too on the side, my friend. I pass him 10 gold pieces.
Kind of raises an eyebrow at that, and he says, all right, yeah, absolutely. We get you right away. 3 gold pieces for the ale and the milk, then.
Sure.
But yeah. All right. And he returns a short time later. And as you kind of sip into the ale, it's pretty foul. It's pretty bitter. And it's actually
It's an
kinda
IPA.
nasty.
It's an IPA.
very, very well
Oh,
could be an
no.
IPA. There's a lot of
is
there's
not
not a lot of people though with tankards in the inn. Most people are if they are drinking, they're drinking either wine or brandies, old Tammin ordered. But yeah, you guys are able to get your drinks, and you've purchased your room. What do you do?
Let's watch the show.
I try to slip the brandy into Misha's milk.
Oh my god.
Oh God.
Let that curdle off.
make it-
Nobody's been able to do
The
it.
curdle.
Is am I rolling a check on that?
No.
Sleight of hand to see. Yeah, you can make a perception check to see if you see this. I suppose it would be more of your passive perception, which whatever that is.
Passive is 17.
She probably sees it.
So you definitely noticed, Tammin. Spike your drink.
Your passive is 17?
It's a wisdom.
It's yeah. I was
passive.
gonna say it's a wisdom.
Yeah,
Yeah. If I see him starting to like
my
edge it
passive
over, do I have
perception is
like time to
16.
put my hand over
Yes. Yeah.
my cup
You see he
and just
starts to do
glare
something.
at him?
Oh, Misha, you're no fun.
Do not enjoy drinking curdled milk.
You just have to drink it quickly.
You can drink yours quickly too. I'm gonna take a sniff of it as I lean over. It smells interesting.
I'll just give her the cheers and have a sip on that comment.
Sure.
And I think I'll just listen to the music.
On the far side of the inn, as you see the north side, so you enter in from the south, there is a few empty tables. Maybe like one or two that are completely empty, and the other have some people milling about them. If you want to go sit over there, you're certainly welcome to. Otherwise, you can stand at the bar.
I think we'd prefer
Are they
a table,
serving
right?
food here?
No, you don't see that they're serving any food right now.
It's kind of
Tables.
late, right?
Yep, it's later in the evening, but I think it's mostly because that there's a show going on. They don't want to disturb the people.
Yeah, I'll just go take a seat.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll join him. I'll join Al there.
Yeah, let's set the table.
Okay, so you guys all kind of gather around a table, and
Sure.
you catch a few looks as you guys are all moving towards this table because you're still fully outfitted. Nobody's made a big stink about the fact that you're carrying weapons in the end, and you do see that there are a number of people who are armed. And you do see people who appear to be equally equipped as you would say, just at a glance, in some parts of this room. And you can see that there's that second floor. It's almost like kind of rafter seating that look down on this area. And after she's played a few more of her like kind of more chipper songs, you can see that the mood or the tonal voice of the music changes to something that's a little bit more darker and drastic, and you hear her sing about the war in Solura, and it's, you know, she's talking kind of about the valiant effort of the Japurans as they try and quell a troubled region and try and help the poor oppressed people of Solura, and stuff like that. So it's interesting. It's not exactly how you would recall Solura, based on her description, but she continues for a bit longer. Does a couple more songs about romance and just other sorrowful songs to kind of end out the night. But she finishes after probably about 30 minutes, and the room starts cheering and roaring for applause and an encore and such. But she moves off stage. Doesn't appear to return for an encore. And people kind of disperse as the night goes on. But you guys probably go and get some more drinks, or are you sticking with the one?
Stick with the one.
One, unless
Sure.
there's food.
I'm chilling.
Well, I'm
Full
trying to get some
sucks.
food. I think I would inquire about some food. Trying to get
Sure. After the show finishes, they say that they'll start serving some light soup and some bread. It's nothing too fancy, because they didn't want to have
Sure.
stuff just laying around.
I'll gladly indulge.
It's 5 silver for
Ooh,
a meal.
a whole 5 silver.
After we've just spent like 35 gold in this place.
Very well.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, you guys are just kind of chilling in this inn, and what do you do?
Misha would tell them, you should think about your questions. We will only have 5.
I'm not sure I follow.
Talking to
Misha,
Tao.
like, sigh
that
and like look
crazy.
at my bag and pat it where I have Tao's skull.
Yeah, but I mean,
There are
okay, so it was
only
obvious that
5
we each had one
questions.
question and know what you were talking about. Okay. Very well. We'll take the evening to consider that. When do you plan to perform this ritual?
Well, in our room, when we are
Okay.
alone, I don't think most people would appreciate.
Yeah, most of them don't approve of necromancy, that's true.
It is not necromancy. It is
just
simply something
Roll my eyes
dead
and
that
take
is
another
able
sip
to
of my
talk.
brandy. Yeah.
You should learn to be more comfortable with the dead.
I can't make the joke because I wasn't there for. But go ahead.
You know, I have a hard time agreeing with you, and I've done a lot of funeral services.
Wait, you are not comfortable with the dead, Kiro? You have done a lot of funeral services.
This never really feels right.
It is a natural part of life. Born, we live, and eventually we all die. I prefer later, but you know.
So as you guys are kind of discussing this, you see a figure stepping up to you, kind of very stiff, perfect posture,
Kill him.
and he's got this kind of like short gray hair and fine trimmed beard and goatee. He's what you would call a fairly handsome older man.
It's like the Colonel Sanders guy.
Yeah, it could be like Colonel
my
Sanders.
God.
But most importantly, he's wearing robes that are identical to Haldir's. And as he saunters over and he's moving directly towards you with eyes that are trained on Haldir, they're kind of like darker brown. He kind of gives a slight nod.
What robes am I wearing?
You're wearing Mandout Dweir's robes.
No, I'm not.
You're not wearing the robes of Sheer Shadow?
No, I am.
Oh, that's right.
What?
Wow.
Okay.
I was
So
like,
it's
what's this guy talking about?
Yane that he's looking at. Yes. So he moves forward and he gives you a quaint nod. He says, I'm not too sure I've had the good fortune of meet, friend. He holds out his hand. Adane. And who might you be?
Are you? Am I the one having lag, or
No,
is
he
that...
broke up. Can you repeat
Okay,
that last
sorry.
comment, Tom?
He said
I'm trying
Adane. He said his name is Adane the Artificer, and then he said, "Who might you be?" As he brings his hand out.
Trolling him if you tell him your
Yeah.
real name.
Oh fuck.
Brent, obviously.
Yeah. I'm... My name's Brent. Nice to meet you.
And you take his hand and shake it.
No, I just stare at him.
Yeah, my name's Chad.
His hand kind of falls limply to his side, along with his other hand. He says, "It's rather odd. I would expect somebody in my order to have a title at least."
No. Oh, you're referring to the robes, are you? Oh, I found them.
You found them.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
They were on a corpse.
Very interesting.
As soon as he
Who's-
says someone in my order with those robes, I'll put my hand on my sword. I'm readying an attack action.
In the inn.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Amisha will comment, waste not, want not.
He is like his head sharply turns to you.
Well,
You're an interesting pair, an interesting group. He kind of brings his hands up and lets them then fall to his side as after he gestures to all of you. May I ask, what are you doing in Pixx?
Drinking.
Listening to
Just
the
listening to some
beautiful
song.
Ash.
That is true. She is quite talented. But I suspect you didn't come here on her account.
No, but
Again, I repeat my question. Why are you here?
we're
Why
passing
are you
through.
No
here?
offense, mate, but what's it to you?
What does somebody affiliated with the Sacantus Arcanum want to know about it?
God. So you do know my order. You would
Well-
see it's somewhat concerning to have a gentleman bearing your robes, or the robes of your order, and not knowing, or saying he got it off a dead body. That's not necessarily a problem, but it's something I'd be curious about. Wouldn't you agree?
Do you want
Kind
to
of,
go back?
he has just like a slight lean forward, and his face is kind of contorted to just a small smile.
At this point, like I'm actually looking up at him, like that kind of like oh, do you have a point to any of this? Like, who gives a shit what
We
you think?
dispatched a fool of a man who had delusions of grandeur. That's about it.
If I may. And he starts to move towards the robes that you're wearing, Ian.
Mhm.
He opens it a little bit on the collar.
Is the name written on the inside?
he opens it a little bit on the collar, and you see this kind of like symbol, and it's just a small skull with little wispy white hair, and he folds the flap back, and it's like these are all like super mechanical and choppy movements, and he kind of moves back and he says, "Mandau Dweer's robes. Very interesting. Did you kill him?"
We hope.
Ha 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 ha. Well, do you have his body? I imagine.
Do you want to go bury him?
No. But I would like to see it.
We don't have his body.
Oh, that's disappointing. But you seem to be quite capable. I have a task that I could use some help with.
Everyone has a task.
Seriously.
He just sighed.
I'm a little taken aback with this, and I say you're not bothered by the fact that we murdered one of your compatriots.
Murder is a strong word.
It
Kira. You did
is.
Not
I mean, you-
do that. It was self-defense.
I don't claim to know the designs of Mr. Dweer. But if he got himself killed, that's his problem. We're a bit more independent. And while we may have common goals at times, we each get to pursue our desire for more magical knowledge by our own means. Like I said, if he got himself killed, makes little difference to me. But he was a capable individual. Some say. I never believed it.
Well, you
I
was
wouldn't
not
say that
smart.
myself.
In any case, adventurers like yourself, who I imagine he ran afoul of,
Zone of truth.
seem quite capable. So, I would love to give you a proposition, a task that I would accompany you on.
What would that task be?
Can we just kill this guy now?
Before his
Save us the trouble.
inevitable betrayal.
Yeah.
There's a tower in the maw that I believe may contain some interesting artifacts or ancient knowledge. And I need assistance in getting my foot in the door.
I don't know if we're heading that way.
I could make it worth your time.
Here's the deal. Do you not think that, based on the fact that we killed this guy who's in your group, that we might have some ill will towards whatever the fuck you people call yourselves? I don't really have any. It's not really in my interest to trust you when we recently had our lives put at stake, and lives of our friends and the lives of our countrymen.
I'm sorry that you had that situation happen to you. But, like I said, it has little to do with me.
And my
And
first
I
meeting
would
with
be
Mr. Mandel Dwyer
extremely-
started quite similarly, actually. He approached us at an inn, offering us a job. That's all I'm saying. Best tread carefully here, friend.
Sure. I imagine you didn't just kill him out of spite after he offered you a job, though.
No,
I mean, it was pretty close.
it's when he, well, don't you worry about it.
When he wronged you.
I want to use.
I would imagine that won't happen in this situation. I'm a good guy.
Can I kill this guy
Yeah.
right now? Can I
So
please?
I want
just...
to use Know Your Enemy. He's been sitting here for quite a while, so I can tell it with observing someone for at least 1 minute. Details about him. Essentially,
Sure.
I get to tell you 2 certain things that you have to tell me.
Okay.
I want to know his total class levels and his
0.
armor class.
No class levels.
Yikes.
And you said his armor class?
Mm-hmm. Well, let's change that to current hit points.
Current hit points
Yes.
is 109.
Okay.
It's a beefy
Continue.
boy.
Well, none of you guys know that, but
What did you
Right.
say?
No.
Don't worry about it.
he
109?
says 109, but none of you know that. Only I do.
Anyways, he gestures again and says, I understand. You ran afoul of one of my compatriots, using the term very loosely in the past. But I'll put it plainly to you. I don't really care. I'm looking for capable individuals to help me on my journey. And if you're not willing to help, that's okay. I don't need it. I want it. And things would go smoother. And you would have your fair share of the rewards. But if you're unwilling or incapable, I understand.
What rewards?
Well, I imagine that this ancient stone tower in the maw will have quite a bit of treasure. You would get your fair share, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5/6 of the treasure would be yours. I would take 1/6, and I would also have first pick. Because
This is pretty clear.
my journey. And
So you-
I'm offering the job. After that, you could divvy it up however which way you see fit.
How
What-
long would you presume this would take?
I suppose it would take, if we went quickly and worked quickly, no more than a week and a half to 2 weeks.
I don't know if we have that much time, I'm going to say, as I look at everybody else, even if it was something people wanted to do.
Yeah, we have pressing needs.
You in a rush
so-
to accomplish something? Perhaps it's something that I can assist with. I am capable in many ways.
Capable.
Like what?
Wait.
What can you assist with? That was going to be my question for you, was if we had agreed to join you on this venture into the mall, what capabilities would you bring to the group? Or are we simply your mercenary for hires doing all of the work?
Well, I would provide my own muscle, to some extent. The reason I don't want to go by myself is many fold, but it's mostly because if I get knocked out, well, then I die. And I don't want that to happen. So it's just kind of like additional backup. I wouldn't say you'd be doing most of the heavy lifting, at least not individually, but there are 5 of you and only 1 of me. That aside, as far as what I can bring to you, I do have some relative information on the Secantus Arcanum. If you wanted some revenge, I suppose I could assist you in that regard. If you want any more information on
willingly
Mandau
betray
Duir,
your own order for us.
absolutely. I wouldn't give away anything too drastic, but I could give you a hint or two.
Where do you
For
keep the
sure.
mind flayers?
It was close to
Mind
being my
flayer.
question too.
The Secantus Arcanum does not directly deal with any illithid or their hives. But I do know of one illithid hive that exists in the Hollow Peaks.
Oh.
We don't even need this guy anymore.
That is assuming that is the same hive.
I will say
As
you'll have
far-
one hell of a time getting there. And even the 5 of you, as formidable as you are, I would not recommend heading anywhere near there.
Are you looking for something in particular in this stone tower in the mall?
Pretty clear.
Yeah.
I am
Definitely.
looking for something in particular.
We should be willing to share with us what it is.
Perhaps if you take on this task and we get there, we can discuss more specific details about what I'm looking for. I don't even know that it is there, and I'd rather not give away my game if I don't have to.
We also don't like helping people find objects that could destroy the world. See,
Ha! It's nothing so drastic, I assure you.
Well, that's all well and good, but as I've said, you'll forgive us if your assurances aren't quite good enough.
I agree with Hal there. The last time this happened, when we refused them, we didn't have such fortuitous circumstances following that. So are we to just believe that if we refuse, you'll leave us be? You'll find the next suitable party for your venture and leave us alone?
That is correct. Although I may try to take the task in hand by myself, as risky as it may be.
All right, well, if you won't tell us what it is, tell us your aim. Why do you want it? Money? Power? Knowledge? All 3?
Yeah, all 3 sounds good, but mostly knowledge. This tower, I visited it once, and I've inspected the door. Let's start with that. To gain entrance, we're going to need some hands. And not ours. We're going to need a hand of a goblin, an orc, an ogre. What was the other one? Oh, a giant and a troll.
Misha's going to spit her milk.
A giant.
A giant.
Yes.
Do you
I'm
have
not
any of these
exactly
things already?
certain if we... Well, a goblin hand, easily procured. same thing goes with an orc, and to a lesser extent, an ogre. While I don't have a giant hand on hand, I don't think it would be too difficult to find one in the maw. As for a
But
troll
to
hand,
persuade one might be
the
difficult.
same go.
I don't think
To
he's talking
persuade
about
one, I would
persuade.
imagine it would be impossible. I just need their
Persuade.
hands.
I see.
I'm curious what all of these races banded together could create and fashion in their own sense and in their own right. So
And then
I want to
decide
find out what's in there.
decide in unison to hide away as well.
Exactly. Makes one quite curious.
Is this a mission of curiosity? Then, purely? It sounds like you already know what's in there. So you might have some idea of what specifically they're hiding away, so...
I have an idea about what might be in there, but I have no idea if it actually is in there.
I see. Well, I think we'll need some time to think this over.
That's
Surely
perfectly
you can
acceptable.
understand that. We'll be here for the evening and into the morning tomorrow. Where can we find you?
Absolutely. I'll be in this common hall tomorrow at noon.
Well, then, have a good night then, and I think we'll be retiring now.
Of course. And he gives you a slight bow, and he starts walking off, again, very rigidly with perfect pose.
Okay.
Can I do an insight check?
Sure.
I don't think this guy's human.
His motions were too choreographed.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think he's a dragon.
I wasn't gonna say anything about that, but
He's definitely whatever was talking to you right there was not human. Just based on your hunches, you definitely suspect that
It's
he
like a
isn't.
doll.
That he's not human, you said?
Yeah, you don't know for certain, but your suspicions are pretty strong, and there is definitely a lot of things that were out of place, but you couldn't really put your finger on anything.
Yeah. Can I? Can I cast like sense undead or?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. See if I sense any
maybe
undead.
the puppet body.
You don't sense anything in your immediate vicinity.
Other
There's
than
no blips or anything. I mean,
Tao's
there's-
skull.
Tao's skull's not undead. It's just dead.
Just a
Sometimes dead is better.
It's very true. All right. Yeah. So you guys are able to retire for the night, or if you guys want to stay at your table and discuss, you're certainly welcome to as well.
I mean, I would retire, but Misha, were you planning to perform this ritual before we went to sleep tonight, or?
yes, in our room.
Okay,
It's
I thought as
probably
much.
better.
Just making sure that we didn't assume a long rest had occurred before this event. So, I mean, I have nothing left to do in the end, so I'll go up.
Yeah, same.
Okay. So you guys all head up to the singular room that you guys had purchased. And you find yourselves accommodated with a couple of twin beds. And there's a few benches and chairs that you can sit at as well. It's nice enough. The sheets smell clean, and they're soft. It's nothing particularly out of place. You guys find rest for the evening, or are you casting that spell?
Just get
Casting
it over
that
with.
spell. It's 10-minute duration. Yeah, we're just gonna do it. So I'll pull out Tao's skull and be like, all right, keep your questions simple. He's not all there. What is not a spell I thought I was getting? I'm trying to give you the spell card.
I have
Probably
it in
should
front of
have.
me already.
Oh, I probably should read this.
Yeah, because that
Spell
determines
of
your
the mouth, and
answers.
can't be undead.
Yeah.
Must still have a mouth.
Yeah, we got the
He's
we got the
got-
mouth. We got the face.
He's got the jaw.
We
That's
got
the
the
most
skull,
important part.
really.
I have the skull and the jaw. That was all I needed. So I'm gonna hold it so he can talk.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Answers are usually
Well, I'm just
brief,
gonna
cryptic, or repetitive.
observe
We have
Alright.
5
whatever's
questions.
going on here.
Well, one of them is gonna be obviously like, do you know what they wanted?
You can answer that one, Tao.
Okay. All right. So we're starting. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
They wanted information on the. Was it? It's not the crypt. It's the.
They wanted to know how to get in.
Yeah, that's right. How to get into the. I'm totally drawing blanks. It's been a while.
Sanctum.
Give me names. Thank you. The sanctum. That's all he asked, and I would not give it.
My next question was gonna be for Yane to ask him like,
You would.
I know.
Go ahead.
Well, there was some concern Yane had about what he else they might have found out about his order, I thought.
I don't think there really was anything. I wasn't really worried about. Just because Tao was such a new person in the order, he really wasn't fully initiated. Any other questions?
The one question.
Kind of a hard thing to be put on the spot with. Still thinking.
I didn't hear anything Yukard just said.
Oh,
Doesn't
I was-
matter.
I was just saying that I'm thinking of a question that would make sense to ask.
I'm thinking that mind flayers don't take the appearance of people.
Let's ask if there was anyone there besides Mandout Dweir
Perfect. Yeah.
The
I was
girl.
just thinking about that.
and the Mind Flayer.
The room was pitch black. All I know is that the girl and, from what I could tell, Mandat Dweir was in the room, but there was some evidence of other people.
Remember that there
Yeah.
were
A
that there.
presence.
You
There were-
think there were other people there.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is
Yeah.
I think that there were other people, but there was no proof.
There were 3 daggers poking into you.
Right. Right.
Third dagger could have been that
3
asshole we were
daggers.
just talking to.
Could have also been
Ooh.
the Cambians. The 3 Cambians. Might not have liked what happened post that event anyway.
And then me as Yane saying we should probably
Especially since
find
he had
them again.
invisibility, which I guess we don't really
The-
know from this, but
The Cambians.
the Cambians.
he
To
would
find
They
out
have
if-
to have
he wouldn't know that information even if we asked it of him.
no, but Yane obviously knows more. So I mean, as Yane, I'm saying maybe we should find out more about them.
Okay, so Cambians may be involved.
But Tao has no idea. Tao has no idea of any Cambians.
Right.
Wait, is Yane showing particular interest in the Cambians at that point?
Yeah, I am.
You did not suspect them though when we saw them earlier. This is not to Tao, this is to Yane.
Hmm.
Just to make your life hard.
No, it's fine.
He wouldn't have known since he wouldn't have had this information.
Right.
But now you think they may be the ones?
No, I just think that there's something about them that we probably should try to investigate more. Doesn't seem like they'll be the last time we see them. I mean,
No.
people of that much power will probably have more interest in us at least.
I'm still curious about like the daughter, the girl.
I'll say, you know, Ty, I want you to know that we were able to hunt down and kill Mandout, but he had a orb in his possession.
I'm just gonna say orb.
So you had no idea at the time of your killing that he had anything in his possession of such power?
No. No idea.
I think that's your fourth question.
Fourth question, yeah.
I think we have one more.
I don't know.
I was gonna say like the only other thing I could think to ask him would be like if he had any last requests of us.
I don't think I do. I mean, no. To be boring. Fiore already found the killer, apparently.
Or so we
Just
think.
I was counting down. I thought we were on 3 questions.
It's possible I
So,
miscounted.
okay, what
No,
did we
not,
ask
but-
him? We asked him, I'd assessment orb thing. Toe Knife asked him if there were anyone else in the room,
Yeah.
right? And what did you ask, Misha?
I asked him the what information the mind flayer was after.
Okay. So maybe that
And
is
then we
only
just
3?
did that last. And then I just asked another question now. I was gonna say
So
my
that's
5th
4. So
question
you have one more.
would
Your
be
4th
if
or
no one
5th
has
question,
another
we're not sure.
Pretty sure this is the 5th one.
This is the 5th.
Sure.
Does nobody else have a question for him?
Nope.
No.
And my question to him would be then, do you want me to not summon you back?
Ooh.
I technically have your skull. I could.
So we can do this again? Because this has been fun.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say that this is not repeatable in the spell.
That's what I was looking for. Is I literally don't have anything that says like. I'm asking Tao if he, as his spirit, would like to be summoned back into his empty skull.
Basically, are you?
It's
at
not
peace?
his spirit,
No, it's
technically.
like the
Yeah.
animated soul, right? Or it's
yeah,
like
so it's just whatever animates
like a
his
wraith.
soul. So yeah, it's an interesting, like he knows everything that Tao knew. So it's kind of
Right.
like you're talking to like a copy of Tao,
A shade.
but you're not really talking
Right.
to Tao.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
I mean, realistically, you could resurrect Tao with
so if you,
with true resurrection.
With true resurrection, yes.
Yeah.
oh my god, could you
Got it
imagine if I
done.
played both characters at once?
Yeah. How far away are we from 9th level spells? Pretty far.
That's pretty far ways
You
away.
could earn the boon of somebody who could do it.
That is true. Oh, we have a
Like
possible
our boy.
dragon friend who,
The doll man.
I mean, that's all
or
speculation.
that might be out of his range, but that might not be out of the guy who created the crown's range of things.
Well, yeah,
Well,
I mean
that
that's the
guy
whole
is a
reason we're
literal
looking for that
god.
guy.
Yeah, that's a little ways off, I think. But anyway,
Keep the skull in a bag.
it's really up to.
Yeah.
Don't we have the bag of whatever holding?
Yes, we
Do
do.
we have a bag of holding?
Yes, we do.
Yep.
Actually, Hal there is managing it, to my understanding.
Yep, the guild bank.
If Tao didn't express any dislike at me possibly rebringing
Can I
his
make
skull
independent decisions as this entity? Like, or I mean, just I feel like I would just
I
be
don't
like
think that-
answering questions.
I don't think we can
No, but
ask you
you would
questions
know-
that Tao would ask because you're not actually Tao.
Right. I'm not.
you would know
I don't
what
have
Tao
independent
knew.
thought.
back, so you
Yeah,
would
but
know if you have a preference for like. Some
Maybe
people don't
it
wanna
has
be
his
around, like-
ideals. I see what you mean. I don't know.
45 seconds of. But would now here's another meta thing. Would I be able to remember each time everything you guys like if we talked?
Nope.
Probably
That's
not.
So
I
what
was
would be
since
the
moment
point?
that you died?
Yeah. So what would be the point? You're just gonna keep asking me 5 shitty questions.
True.
You could be like,
These
"How
are
are you
great
feeling today,
questions.
Mister Skull?"
You never know. Tao might have something else we need to know, but we could onto his
Yeah.
skull if you wanted to.
Yeah,
What's-
this will be. I can't wait to do it again.
I feel a lot
Alright,
better knowing it's not
well-
actually Tao.
Tao's head is going into the bag of holding. Then it's like,
Oh god!
here,
All right.
for later, maybe we'll see.
Alrighty.
All right.
I'll delete it from.
It's
my
been
character
fun.
sheet.
So skull
Alright.
of Tao into the bag of holding, basically.
Skull of Tau. Couple pounds.
I was gonna say it's about the same weight as it was before it was detached from my body.
Yeah, there's
Aw.
nothing.
I mean,
in
I'll
that
just say
mug.
once that whole ritual dissipates, that I feel like we didn't really gain any information. And
Shocking.
No, we did. We got 3 people were in the room. We know for a fact that the mind flayer was after the entrance, and that Mandout Dweer was in the room as well too, plus one other person.
well, I think we knew Mandout was there, but
I didn't-
Potentially
it
more
was
than one
it
person.
was yeah. I think it was
There could be a multiple.
Mandout, the 3 invisible people, and
You should have just asked me what happened that night.
oh well.
I don't think you can give those kind of complex answers.
They have to be
I
simple
could've.
answers. Yeah.
He can. I mean, I
could've-
give it a little
I
bit of
could've.
flexibility. I mean, most of the time, the person that you're asking these questions of is usually like
Enemy.
an enemy, or it's just they don't necessarily want to help
I
you.
see. The rules are there to be
Uh, Yeah,
this isn't like, hey, tell us where everything is.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah, I
but
see.
he could potentially. I mean, no, there's no reason for Tao to be hostile
Hold
towards you.
back,
He
yeah.
should be
Right.
forthcoming with
No,
his
I
information.
just was too focused on the
Why the fuck didn't you guys save me?
interpretation.
Oh, God.
That might be what he
I
says.
mean, if he
next
felt
time.
like that, I would be crushed.
Well, that's just it. Is like it's not under compulsion to tell the truth. I mean, he would have told the truth, but he's still limited in his
Right.
speech.
Yeah.
Right.
For yeah,
Simple.
capacity.
He's
to-
not giving us an essay for one question.
It was pretty
Yeah.
brief.
Okay.
No, I did
Well, what do you guys think about that individual at the bar downstairs? I don't trust him for a second.
But he's probably the best source of
No.
information that
He's
we'll get.
He's with that Sacanthus Arcanum.
It seems really convenient that we're going directly into the Hollow Peaks, and there just happens to be a mind flayer nest there.
Right, but
Or
every time
hive.
we've appeared in an inn, this group has found us. I mean, they have some ability to track us. As
Well,
I'm
the last
reminded
time
of the
could
guy
be.
that made me this the scryer guy in Moro. Fuck.
Yes.
You will
Roger.
recall, while that you have your own suspicions, however which way you look at it, but he approached you because
The cloak.
Of the
Yane was
robes,
wearing
yes.
robes.
Sure, it's just
Yeah. With
location,
hair on them,
location and
which, by the
time.
way,
It's kind of
Is there
suspicious
still
either way.
hair? Like a hair trapped and sewn into the robes?
Not a hair.
No,
it was.
no,
it
it's
was
like an emblem, right?
Yeah,
It was
an
a
emblem.
skull with hair on it.
Oh, a skull
Yeah.
of hair.
It was just a patch of my red hair on the cloak.
Yeah,
The shavings.
just
Well,
malting.
Molting.
If there was something like that, that could be an easy way of tracking per se somebody. But
Right. Oh, that's smart.
you could be like a beacon to them. Maybe there's a way of tracking people to the robes. I'm not sure.
It didn't seem like it. It just kind of seemed like we just happened to be in the same place.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just
could
being
be.
overly, cautious. We'll see.
Does anybody actually want to help this guy?
I feel
Sure.
like it could be useful.
I want to kill him.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I do too. That's the only reason I want to kill him.
I mean, yeah, the obvious.
Why don't we just go and take him to the place and then betray him and kill him and take whatever he wants?
I don't think that's
Oh
a
my
very good thing to
God.
do.
I had a feeling that was where this group was going to go with it.
The murder
I feel
hobo
like
group.
he's an obvious puppet, and if we stab in the back, his order of weirdos is gonna like imp.
It's not. One wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, because right now they have no motive to want to kill us.
Yeah, I mean,
Wait
I
a
think it's
minute.
a little too It's a little too
No,
sketchy for me.
Even if we say no, he'll probably show up again.
Do we really need the treasures or artifacts in the maw? And we really don't need to be helping this person. I mean, we were just
Treasures,
I
we were just
mean-
gifted land. We're just gifted lordly titles in
Lordly titles
Morocco
over
and
a bunch of
Lordsport.
We could just retire now.
Yes, but I'm saying we have no need of these possessions.
But he has knowledge of like mind flayer nests, like they were gonna
Right.
like the
He
traps
already
were
gave
obviously
us
gonna want to.
information. I mean, he said
Yeah,
that
no,
there's
he
a
said
nest in
it's
the
there.
Holopix.
He probably
But,
has a way to get into it as well.
Could have lied when he said his order doesn't deal with them.
We don't. I mean,
Oh, I
we
would
don't-
bet on everything he
we
said being somewhat deceptive, but
we truthfully don't know how unified their order is. They could be very factionalized and independent. I don't know.
Based on the fact that he didn't try to kill Yane, my guess would be yes.
He
They
probably
are
didn't. He probably couldn't
very
have.
sure. You're a little confident, Yane.
Oh no, I meant as a
well,
doll
I'll
thing.
just share, that he was I can tell just by sizing up that he was a relatively formidable person. He was a strong person. He wasn't really letting on anything more than his intellect, but I think he could hold his own in a fight.
No, his resources are probably very strong. I am fine with not going to the mall. We have other business.
Personally, I don't think we need the distraction. I think we need to get to Jelrin and figure things out. But I don't know what the others feel.
I'm fine either way.
I think we should ask him what he is.
One thing I am certain of is that if we don't help him, he'll appear in our way at some point in the future.
Oh, for sure. But he's going to appear no matter what we do. Either we
do
join
not-
him or we don't join him.
I do
What
not
do you
think he'll
mean, Haldir,
necessarily
that
appear.
what he is?
He's not human.
Not a man.
He's not a humanoid. I guess is what I'm saying.
I just think that was just a conduit to how he speaks through, like just like a doppelganger. Same thing that Medadwir had, right? Or potentially had.
A copy?
No, they're different.
Well, yeah, one was more crude, but it could be
You
just a
can-
different form.
You can ask him tomorrow then. More details on who he is and what he is. But
think that'd
we
be a
have
good
been
place to
running
start.
really hard tonight.
But unless I hear something drastically different, I just don't think we should be bothered with it.
Yeah, like to be honest, like I think the mall was one of the things that we were going to try our hardest to avoid.
Right. It was.
Yes.
Okay.
These two are way higher.
Well, supposedly it's pretty ruthless in there, yeah. But with a real overwhelming party size,
Yeah.
it might be easier. But we don't know that.
I don't want to fight a giant right now.
Maybe
a
with your new
dragon.
spells.
Remember that guy, Richard or whatever, said there's
But,
a dragon in there.
Oh, that's right. We can-
Vorzova the
Yeah,
White, right?
True, I forgot about that. That's the one that killed his sister or
He
something.
said that if we went in there, that we should recruit his help and help him avenge his sister or something like that.
We could kill 2 dragons with 1 stone.
Aw,
That
shit.
guy's not a dragon. I don't think so.
Beefy.
Anyway,
Oof.
something to think on.
100 HP is not that much, guys.
No, it's not. It's just.
I
more
almost
than
have
us.
That's
100
like less
HP.
than that's like less than the Sickatid probably.
It's not.
dude.
No, it's. You're right. It's not. It's
I mean-
like he's probably like level 11.
Sycophants
or
had
10,
75.
but he's
I
high
mean,
level.
you could, if there's 5 people, you could one round up that
But
person.
the Sycophids had resistance to all damage, so it was
True.
kind of like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna crash out, dude. I'm tired, guys. Oof, we've been riding all day.
Yeah. Amisha agrees. It is
I
So
listened-
in the middle of the night, you hear a knock at your door.
No, no.
that
I'll
was
wake up.
literally like Misha will groan and say
Do
the
we?
same.
Am I asleep or do I wake up? or
Yeah, I mean
what's
this
the
is it's maybe not too long after you've fallen asleep, so it's kind of like one of those things where you're like, was I even
deal?
sleeping?
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
I mean, aren't we not all in the same
the
room?
Twilight
You
Zone.
are
are.
all in the
We
same.
are.
Yeah.
I'm not doing
we're
that
all
again.
bunking. We're bunking.
Oh, I see.
together.
Yeah,
Okay.
We got 2 beds and a bench.
the redheads are in the same
I'll
bed.
answer the door.
Okay.
You're met with a very
Well-
pretty face.
Oh
Oh,
god.
it's the bard.
It's the woman.
Yeah.
It's the bard.
Yeah, let's kill her now.
Oh no.
Misha's going to yell when she sees her at the door. Don't walk off with pretty faces.
I say
You
sorry,
see her
she's the
kind of
bit
like
of the jealous
smirk into the room, but she's like, "I'm sorry to disturb you."
Wait, she just walks into the room.
No, she doesn't walk in.
She
She's-
peeks her head in,
Yeah, well, she's
Okay,
just kind
okay.
of
the
like,
Shining
here
style.
it's happening, so she's looking into like the darkness. She's like, "Oh, geez, what the heck's going
There's
on?"
4 voices in this room.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people talking. Like, but she's like, "I'm sorry, but
Did you come for the orgy?
Oh
She laughed.
no.
No,
no,
that.
not
Who
quite.
wants a mustache ride?
That's not exactly what I was coming here for. But I've heard a poem recently
Oh, God.
from one of my colleagues, and I suspect that it may be about you. You all. I caught a glimpse of you while you guys were in the hall, and I'm curious. Are you the ones who dispelled the darkness? If so, that would be a fascinating tale to hear. And
Oh.
I would really appreciate it if you could tell me the story.
People have already written poems about this.
That was quick.
That was
It did
very quick.
seem
This
like-
happened not but a few days ago.
A day.
Yeah, yesterday.
One day.
Yeah, literally.
literally a
And
day
only
ago.
yesterday. And only yesterday, my friend came through
It's hot
town.
news.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Wait,
To be
TMZ 's
honest-
on it.
To be honest,
Yeah, it's true.
they.
do you
I heard the poem before that the darkness was dispelled.
How is that
A
possible?
prophecy then?
I am the chosen one. You knew it.
Regardless, I
Speak plainly, how about? It is the middle of the night, and we'd like to get to bed at some hour.
How about
Come
let's
into
rain
the
out
room,
of the
let's discuss this.
hallway first?
yes.
Well, okay. I guess.
Tammin, take your finger out of Kurio's ass.
What the?
What?
Hmm?
What?
I'll have you
She
know I
steps
wear full armor.
She tosses up a couple lights before she does. She kind of takes good stock of you, and she's like,
I'm just like putting my hand over my eyes, like, oh, it's bright in here now.
she dims it a
The
little
candle she has.
She put up lights.
bit. It's candlelight.
Oh, she didn't do dancing. I just figured.
I
she
thought
did
it was
dancing.
actually lights. My bad then.
It is literally.
She flipped the
lights.
switch.
She actually casts lights.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
But like I was saying, if it's true, I'd love to hear the story. I know it's the middle of the night, but I'm leaving first thing in the morning, hopefully.
Can you elaborate on what you mean when you say you heard it before it happened? I don't quite
Just that.
understand.
One of my friends, I'm not sure if you've heard of him, is Nash. He's a famous bard in Jelrin. And he told me this poem. Kind of, like you say, is almost prophetic, I guess. But he said that...
Have I heard of this person? I've been to Jelrin.
Why does it sound
it's
super
the name of the
familiar?
Cambion
Yeah.
that said the
Oh,
poem.
yeah, there we go. That's how it sounded.
Yeah. It's
Fucking
the name of the Cambion that read the poem out to you. That's who it is. But yeah,
Spoilers.
spoilers. Yeah. But yeah,
Oh yeah, Nash. Yeah, I know him.
dashing young man. But
Yeah. Man.
right. He made mention of it, and if you're that strong and that capable, I'd love to hear more about you.
Just real quick, you're friends with this person, this Nash?
Colleagues, I would say, contemporaries. We learned from the same teacher in Jelrin.
Are you also a Cambion?
Just straight up ask her.
I'm sorry, what?
This
No.
Nash fellow. It's a Cambion.
I've heard of them. and it's possible, but
It's the truth.
It's only ever appeared to me as a man.
It's a reality.
Well, it's part of the story. When we met him, he threatened us and asked us to do some mission, as one often does. You get that a lot. They ask about the missions.
No, I'm sorry. I was just looking for a story. I'm not trying to put you guys on the spot, and if I'm unwelcome, I'll leave.
All right. Well, here's the story. Met up with a man from Morocco and the Knights of Karn, and he requested our aid in clearing out the darkness. We went in there and killed a race of I don't know, bug things.
Sycophants, they were referred to as.
Could you describe them to me?
Yeah,
They-
terrifying creatures with fucking crawly legs everywhere and humanoid-ish features and spit
Yeah.
acid and wield 4 swords and something like that.
At once, 4 swords?
Well, they have many arms. They're like an insect.
Strangely dexterous.
They are beetle people.
Yeah.
Mole people.
And they're the same things that came out when darkness fell to the land years ago. All right?
That's fascinating. You're certain?
I'm positive. And so we killed all them. Then we killed the man controlling them, who was part of Sanctus Arcanum.
You just could tell her everything.
And
Sanctus Arcanum. I've never.
yeah,
heard
they're
of
horrible people, the lot of them. Tell everyone.
it. I suppose I will. I won't get in trouble by doing this, will I?
Oh, good luck with that.
They might
Think
kill
people
you,
are-
I guess. So there's
I probably won't do that then.
There was also this beacon of light in the darkness with this ancient sun who claimed to have been
Sorry, you
under
meant
this.
cunt elf.
What?
Nothing.
Sun?
Continue.
Sun elf was a dome in the darkness of light, and she was very rude, but she claimed to have been there for 10,000 years.
Do you think she's still there now?
Oh, she definitely is.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. She'll probably kill you.
I mean, she won't kill you. She'll just pretend you
She
don't
was
exist
very
unless you.
unwelcoming and
Yes.
Yeah, the only way you'll see her is if you piss her off, and then she'll kill you. See?
Very rude.
That doesn't sound
But very
particularly
knowledgeable.
nice.
But yeah, that's the
Worth a
story
shot.
about.
Wow. Well, then you guys have been through quite a bit. How many of these sycophid things did you kill?
Uh,
all 20,
Dozen?
you know.
like 30,
20?
20. I don't know.
How big did you say these things were?
Giant.
They
20
look
feet
like
tall.
a catapult.
My goodness. Then you are very capable.
Oh, and as a general, if you could do us a favor and not roll
I
this
want
song
to
out
inside
for
check
about a
this lady.
Sure.
What did you say, Kirill?
could you, if you do write a song about this, can you not sing it for about a month?
25 insight, critical.
Not sing it for about a month.
Yes.
Why is that?
We'd like not to be known in the area. Although
I am
it
a quick
appears that we may
composer.
already be too late.
Well, I
I-
intend to leave this area.
Yes, if
Truth be
you.
told, I'm
Which way are you headed?
trying to make my way to Salura, but
And why is that, if I may ask? You had some not very nice things to say about them in your song.
for morale, I suppose.
She
Because
plays it
truth be
alone.
When you play in Jepper, you play Jepperan songs.
I quite like Solura. It's a nice place.
I hope to find out. That's my reason for wanting to go. I'm a Jepperan myself, but I try and keep more open mind about other lands. Every culture has something to give. I want to see those peaks. I've seen peaks. I mean, you can look out your window and you can see most of the mall right now, but it's ominous. From what I hear, Salura is just a more peaceful place, but it's not right now. And I don't know. I just believe in the power of music, and I think that it can bring peace. I would love to play for those people who truly are oppressed, and at least in the very nature of there being a war there. So if I can bring any comfort to them, that's truly what I desire. And your insight check, she comes off as completely honest. I mean, she's very sincere. She's genuinely curious about you guys and what you're doing. But if you don't want your story to be told, then
Oh,
that's
you can
fine.
tell the story. Just a little time buffer.
Spread
Like I
the
said,
good
it takes a little
news.
while to compose a piece, so I'm sure you'll have one.
Okay.
And that kind of brings me to my other point, though. I'm not exactly sure what you guys have on your schedule, but like I said, I intend to go to Solura, and it's a war-torn country. So I was wondering if you would be my bodyguards.
Well, were the circumstances different, I would say maybe, but it's kind of the complete opposite direction of where we're trying to go.
No,
Might even say we just came from there.
you might even. I can spot the accent well enough. It's
Unless
fine.
you want the trip to Jelrin. And then back to Solura. We are heading that way.
Not particularly.
Eventually.
I don't want to winter in Jelrin, and I suspect the first snows will be 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now. After that, it'll be tough travel. So I want to get to Solura as soon as I can. But that's okay. Just a fanciful thought, I guess. Yeah. In any case, I've taken up enough of your night, and I appreciate the story. Maybe one day you'll hear the song. Again, it was a pleasure to meet you all. I know we didn't get to exchange names. If you'd like to, she holds out her hands. The name's Raven Ash.
Nice to meet you, Raven. My name is Kira.
Oh no.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Kira.
We've been made.
Is he the only one who's going to take
By
credit
our
for
own
this?
guy.
Oh my god.
Will it be
Okay.
Kirill and his nameless heroes?
Yes, go ahead.
My God, we can't have Kirill's name be the first one everyone hears. No,
I'm
that's
sure
not-
Does not rhyme very well.
the song will be a hit in Uno.
Well, I hope so.
Yes. And I'm sure all of the people who are off headhunting us will love to know where Kiro is.
Are there
Well,
any?
if the case is that you're being
Yes!
hunted,
Woo!
perhaps
I
I'd
think we
better
need
not
some
sing the songs
aliases,
there.
huh? What do you think, Raven?
Just give us nicknames.
You can certainly give us some nicknames in there,
You
and
can
it
call
still
us
have the
the
same
heroes.
meaning.
The Heroes 5 of Solura, if you like.
Sure, I can do that. Seems fair enough. But again, I appreciate it, and maybe our paths will cross some other day.
Aye.
She turns to leave. She closes the door behind her.
We should have killed her.
Kirill, you're going to get us all killed.
That'll be fine.
Do we still have the disfigured are gonna find out about us
Yeah.
again?
We haven't seen them in a
It's-
while.
I'm not
No,
even
but it's
scared of them
too-
anymore.
Yeah, we can
It's too easy
crush
to
them.
track us every single time we come from a different port. Kirill tells people where we are.
I think that we just kind of stick out like a sore thumb everywhere. So
It's more XP for us.
It's more XP. Nice. Okay. So the plan was maybe no to them all, but Haldir's gonna ask some
Or-
questions tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we're gonna bed down and ask him some questions.
Okay.
Uh,
So you
actually,
come
what's
to
up-
consciousness in the morning because we have about 30 more minutes of sanctioned playtime.
Yeah. Nice.
What do you guys do? You can smell breakfast being cooked down the halls.
I'll scurry down and get some grub. For sure.
There are some other patrons in the hall. obviously. But for the most part, people didn't really stick around the Oval Hall after she finished her performance, Raven Eyes. And so in the morning, it's also pretty bare. But you guys receive service pretty quickly, and you're set up. Whatever you desire for breakfast, they can accommodate you for a meager 5 silver.
Yeah, I'll hit up some sausage for 5 silver.
Just one whole plate of sausage.
How big is this
Hell
town,
yeah.
by the way?
It's tiny, right?
You guys passed a number of farming like houses, but also you can, as you guys were passing through that area, you like saw little town squares, but there's it's like a few buildings, so maybe there's like a little blacksmith there, a little tailor over here,
Yeah, if there's farmers, there's got to be a blacksmith.
Yeah,
Pretty sure we're
there's
gonna be able to get some arrows.
probably multiple blacksmiths in the town in general, but you're in the town center, which is like kind of like the epoch of it. So if the towns of Pixx is probably spread out over 50 miles or more. It's like a huge farming community, but you're in the center of town, which might not have a lot of people in the morning.
All right.
Well, yeah, I'll grab some breakfast, I suppose.
Looking around the common hall there in the inn, is the man that approached us last night there, as he said that he would be, or is it too early?
Said he would be there
at
at noon.
Okay. Just making sure he's not just hanging around. Okay.
Do we know what around for this guy?
Well,
Probably
I have
said
some
he'd be
things
there
that
at
I want
noon.
to take care of very briefly, but I'll make my way back. I need to get some reagents. I need to get Goose back. And that individual said that I should check the local church.
Don't forget to get arrows.
Well, there's multiple things, of course.
Would we be willing to go with this guy if he submits himself to the zone of truth? Is that something
it
we should
even
discuss?
Can it affect something that's being used remotely?
We don't know that that's what's happening.
No,
No,
we
I mean,
don't.
it's a
But
pretty
can
good
you,
guess.
well, maybe it's. Can we see the spell, Carol? Can you put the spell on the Roll20 thing?
You just type it in.
But he has the thing set up, doesn't he? Like, can he just push the dialogue thing, or maybe he doesn't have that?
I'm trying to link it. It's not working.
Oh.
Actually, hold on.
I can find it. Here it is.
He just says a creature. But that doesn't really matter. I
Right.
mean, I'm just asking, like, is that something we want to consider as an option?
Yeah, I hear you. I mean,
Like,
Sure,
we
why
won't
not?
know if it
I was
works
just
or
looking.
won't work.
I didn't
till-
care more about the creature or anything, but just like if there were any limitations. So it doesn't look like there are. I mean, it's really up to Kirill.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I love that spell.
No, I'm not asking should we do it. I'm
No,
saying,
no,
like,
he's yeah. What
Is there a point?
what Halder is saying is if we can convince him to agree to willingly stand in the zone of truth and answer questions that we have to alleviate concerns, would we trust him enough to go on this venture? I believe is what he's saying.
correct.
It's a tough question.
I'm still pretty guarded about it. I think that he's a conniving enough person, just assuming that he's with that Sacantus Arcanum, that he might be intelligent enough to circumvent the questions in a way where he wasn't lying, but also is not giving away his intent.
Yes.
You know?
Well, yeah, but it's
I'm-
not like we're like signing a contract.
No, I understand that, but we can get, if we're in the maw and we're, we could be in a situation where it could be very risky to be with him. You know what I mean? We don't really know how powerful he is.
Oh.
Sure. But I mean, Never. I mean, I don't know. You can ask some pretty airtight questions in the zone of truth. I
Sure,
think.
sure. I mean, I don't think I'd come up with them, but no, I know what you mean. I mean, I think it couldn't hurt. It's a good place to start off.
Yeah, we just have a number of concerns like illithid hives and Cambians waiting for us in Jalren.
Winter is coming.
Oh no.
Hmm.
Anyway, I
From
think
what
we've got a
From what you
decent
said, we
amount of
might be
time
snowed in.
between now and noon, so I think I'll go on my reagent hunt.
Do we even need to tell him that we're doing it? I mean, we can just set up the zone.
Doesn't he know
Before
he's
we talk to him?
affected or no?
Yeah, they do.
He would be aware that he's affected by the spell.
He's
it says
a
an
wizard.
unaffected creature is aware of the spell and can thus avoid answering questions. Right. So there's no
Yeah, it's
surprising
not like
him
they-
with it.
It's not like they have to answer the question.
Also,
Yeah.
We can only speak the truth.
if he's like a puppet, is he really in the zone
Yeah.
of truth? And does he
That's what I
really
was
have
asking.
to
Totally
be-
not. I mean, we wouldn't be able to determine that anyway, I don't think. So it's kind of arbitrary. It's a risk. It's just we're never going to know. We either
Well,
have
we're-
to resign ourselves to believing what he says in the zone of truth or not. If we don't
Trusting
if we
that
don't
all.
find the zone of truth worthy of using and therefore what he says worthy of believing, then there's no reason to even do it.
We weren't planning on going to the mall anyways, right?
That's kind of what I'm still stuck on, is like this is just another detour on the path that we need to take, and it's all delaying us. We
Okay,
know we need,
then we
need
don't
to
do
get
it.
to Jalren.
Let's not do it. Make it
Okay.
easy.
Okay, that's fine with me. But I'm gonna take off, try to find some arrows and get some
Okay.
reagents for this familiar spell. So if anyone wants to
Do you want
tag
anybody
along,
to
they're
come with you?
fine. Otherwise, I'm perfectly capable on my own. But it's up to you guys. If you want to hang out here, I'll be back at noon, so we can at least meet up and tell the guy together, or you can join me. Up to you.
I'll go with you, Tammin.
Okay, sounds good.
Ooh, I want to go to a blacksmith to see if they have a good shield.
Awesome. I was actually going to stop there first. Misha, why don't you come with us?
Indeed.
Get some arrows.
All right.
Anyone else coming along, or just us three?
I don't really need to go.
Okay.
But
Carol?
Yeah, I'm gonna be.
Carol, did you want to, just making sure, did you want to try to cover up your symbolisms?
Oh
or
yes,
all?
I thought we already had cloaks and cloth and stuff though.
I
Paper
I just
mache.
don't know if you
Yeah.
needed a blacksmith for that kind of stuff to like reforge it or anything. I don't know. I don't really know what you would go as far as to do for that, but
I
that's
don't.
why I was asking.
Just
I don't-
constantly
I
have your
don't
hand
know.
over it.
I don't know if the religion has blasphemy laws or whatever. How offended that would make my character.
Well, you are your own man,
Oh.
Carol.
Is he?
Yeah.
All right. So you guys start heading out the door into the naked day.
Yeah.
I'll assume Carol's also with us.
Yeah, I'll go with you. I probably should cover this
okay, well
iconography issue.
then I will also go.
The five
I'm
of us
not
head
get-
out toward the
I'm not
blacksmith.
getting gunned down in the street.
Yeah.
So you can see that there are a number of stalls being set up as people are preparing to sell their wares. Most of it is produce, but at the same time, there's a few shops that kind of line the outside of this town square, and you imagine that these probably are the best in Pixx because they have a place of prominence. Just kind of looking through the shops, you do notice that there is a blacksmith, and as you kind of go over his wares briefly, there's nothing that kind of like stands out to you of note as far as magical gear or anything like that. But if there's common wares that you need, he can definitely accommodate you.
Yeah, I'd like to inquire about, like, I don't know, maybe covering the iconography on my shield.
I don't know if you need javelins
Just
either,
like
by the
a
way.
pommel attached to the front of it, or like a buttress
Yeah, something like
over the
that.
top of it.
Yeah.
Yes, I could fashion something like that for you. We want proper steel, or what are you thinking for cover piece?
I think steel would work. I got this shield off a corpse, and let's just say it's the. It needs a little bit of a new look for now.
Sure. Say no more, please.
Please.
25 gold pieces, and I can get you a bit of metal, and take me no longer than, I don't know, 30 minutes to put that on there.
That'd be excellent. It's a deal.
Simple enough. Is there anything else that you needed? And kind of looks at the rest of you.
I'll
Probably
take.
need the
What do
same.
you have for just general wooden arrows? I'm
I
looking
don't
to
really do
procure
much
50.
for arrows because Obrick, down the street, Fletcher, he takes care of most of that. And I fear my work wouldn't be up to snuff. Not leastways, not his.
Very well. I'll check him out. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, about 30 minutes, I'll take care of this.
I would also hand him my shield as well too. Apparently, this is a thing we are doing.
Yeah, this one's also from a corpse.
This
25
one
gold
is-
pese.
All
one
of our
is not
gear is
from a
from
corpse.
I don't need the story, thank you.
Okay. All right. About 25 gold.
Sure. So where do you guys head to next?
I mean, I'm off to the Fletcher then, if that's the case. I need the arrows.
How good are you
Sorry.
good on material components?
I don't think I have any spells that consume material components. So,
Yeah, I
yes.
think,
All right.
unless otherwise stated by Tom, I don't think we're playing with spell components.
I mean,
It's just particular spells have
Right.
stuff that costs
only
over
certain, yeah,
100.
like,
Well, like chromatic orb requires a diamond. That's kind of.
yeah, but it
Could
doesn't
have
get
the diamonds,
it doesn't
yeah.
get used.
I see.
He
Okay.
was already level 3, so he probably
Alright.
already had the diamond.
Some things that in my spell list that cost money or get you.
Sure. That makes sense.
Like
Alrighty.
whatever.
Well, I mean,
Right.
I'll just go up to the Fletcher and, let me see your finest arrows.
My finest arrows, you say? I just got a shipment of flame method claws, fashioned them into a bit of a special treat. He pulls one off the wall. And
Special treats, you say? What's so special about them? I'll say admiringly over the arrows, his craftsmanship.
he sets it to a bit of linen that's kind of like setting on his table, and it starts to warm up and cinder and singe. It's like these will obviously have an impact of flame when you strike a target. No good for hunting, really, but I like to dabble. As far as magically enchanted arrows, I have scant few. Most of them have been requisitioned by the Japuran soldiers, but I have a bit. I could part with probably, say, 15 of them, 30 gold apiece.
I admire the work, my friend, but I'm just merely curious. I think 50 normal arrows would do just fine for myself. What would that cost
Simple
me?
enough. 50 normal arrows?
Just your run-of-the-mill wooden arrows. Yeah.
To 5 gold pieces, I suppose.
It's a deal. I'll hand him over the gold.
Sure. Are you sure you don't want any of those method arrows? I've got 5 of them.
Well, you say they, they catch fire and impact. Is there an explosion, or is it merely just catching the
They hit with a bit
individual?
more potency than a standard arrow, I would say. Just by the nature of the claws. And beyond that, yeah, they burn them up pretty good. I can sell them to you, 50 gold pieces each.
A little outside of my price range. But I like a little utility in a pinch, so I'll take 2 of them for 100 gold pieces.
Sure.
Does that sound fair?
Seems like a fair deal to me.
Alrighty, so I'll add those. What are they called again?
You can just call them flame arrows if you want, but they're flame method claws. That's what they're fashioned out of.
Sure.
And they'll just deal your average D8 plus 1, but all of it will be fire damage.
Sure. So it's like your attack roll plus 1 and then the d8 on top of the fire damage, or what? How does that work?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
How sturdy are they?
So it's a D8 like your normal arrow,
Right.
plus your dexterity mod, plus your plus 1 for the fire damage as well.
Sure.
And then
All right.
all of it's fire.
Yeah, it gets converted entirely from physical to fire, then, you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
What was the question, Kirill?
Now, if my compatriot were to shoot these at a target, would they tend to break when they hit the target?
The arrows, my arrows, the standard arrows? No, absolutely not. A target? Probably not. I should say. But the method arrows, the magic is
Expended upon use, I imagine, right, my
expended
friend?
upon you. Yeah.
Yes, I suspected as much. Very well. Look forward to testing them out.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I need.
How many javelins do you have, Kirill?
How many torches do you have?
Yeah.
Whole lot.
Still,
I think I've used a single javelin in our entire adventure, so
You've used
I'm
a couple. I think 2. But
Where are you
way,
keeping these, by the way?
Brother, in his belt.
good. Where I'm keeping all the rope and torches.
Yeah.
He's got these big
Holy
sacks
shit.
that he carries over his shoulders.
He's got a pocket of holding, is what he's fucking got.
I mean, we all have packs. We just don't wear them during combat and stuff.
Right,
you know, you
right.
just-
I imagine
Yeah.
the air drops.
I'm just kidding.
There's got to be some suspension of disbelief. Okay. Unless anyone else needs anything at the Fletcher blacksmith, I'm going to find reagents at the temple or the church. If no one wants to tag along, I'll see you back at the inn. Otherwise, I'm on my way.
I do not think I would be welcome at this church. I'll head back to the blacksmith. See if my shield is done.
I'll go to the church, but I'll stand outside. Just in case you need
Just
me.
in case he yells.
Yeah.
All right. So it's a kind of a smaller temple, I suppose you would say. And you can see that it's got a pair of scales that are out front, carved in marble. And the scales are evenly weighted. As you step inside, you can smell a bit of incense, and you can hear some people working in an infirmary. And after a few moments of you just kind of standing in this reading hall, kind of a clerk walks up to you. They're wearing kind of plain gray robes, and appears to be maybe a younger gentleman who works there. Walks up and says, "Is there anything that I can assist you with, sir?"
Yes, I am actually here looking for a bit of material. I have a ritual to perform. Looking for just some general reagents, incense, herbs, charcoal, that kind of thing,
Well, these things can be gathered. We will require a donation to the church, but absolutely, please follow me to our storerooms.
Absolutely, I have no problem with that. Tell me, what
He takes
what is it that your church professes. Tell me a little bit about the church.
Kershanim, you're not familiar with him.
You must forgive me. I'm from Solera Panyayapar, so I am not too familiar with this region, but I am always curious.
Interesting. Well, Kershanim, Shanam rather, is just the god of balance. Every positive thing that happens to you eventually will weigh out with a negative thing. The culmination of your birth and the blessing that is to have life will eventually be canceled out by the tragedy of death. And we believe that same principle carries to more mundane things in life. Beyond that, I'm not too sure what kind of passing knowledge you'd need to know.
I don't need to know anything. I am more curious. I'm a bit of a traveler, so I'm always curious the beliefs of the region that I come through. But it seems that your belief system is very logical. I approve.
Well, thanks. And he goes and he gathers your materials that you request. Are you looking for anything beyond the what the are you looking for anything beyond the required
No,
for that
I think
ritual?
I'm just looking for the basic materials. Although I think I would. Maybe I should have said this, but do you think that I could get a larger portion? I want to make sure that I don't have to go back every couple of times that I perform the ritual. Could we say like a sack of charcoal, a little baggie of incense and herbs, 50 gold pieces?
I suppose yes, we can accommodate that. 50 gold pieces then.
Very well, I appreciate the business.
I wouldn't exactly call it business, but yeah. Good luck with whatever you're doing with it.
Hey, good luck with the gold too, as I walk away.
All right. And yes, by the time you finished
I'll make
gathering
my way
all your
back to
stuff,
the inn.
you guys can make your way back to the blacksmith and get everything taken care of.
Picking up our gear.
Yes. And so you guys kind of just wait until noon rolls around?
Yep.
I think so.
Sure.
Yeah, I think so. I have
I'm gonna
nothing
do a
left to
couple push-ups.
Yeah.
Sure.
Good souls,
you
fuck.
you gotta keep fit.
Yane's working it in.
If he isn't working out every day, that's just depleting.
He's
No,
gonna
this
go
is
talk,
just
he's gonna go
all
talk to
genetic.
Raven Ass.
Yeah.
Raven ass.
Raven ass. That's a good one. All right. So around noon, almost like clockwork, you hear someone coming down the stairs from the upper floor, and you see the familiar sight of what was his name? Adam, rather.
Damn.
Adam, the
God
artificer.
damn.
And she saunters over to you. It's very calculated steps. And he says, "Well, have you come to a consensus?"
First, what are you?
Oh. My disguise didn't work.
No.
I didn't suspect so. I'd actually be rather disappointed if you actually thought.
We have bets going on what you
Oh.
are.
You can see that his features kind of fade a little bit, where they look perfectly human. they kind of like fall away, and you can see that there's this kind of like sheen to them, that it's like polished wood, and it's a very like accurate and lifelike rendition of somebody in
I
wood.
knew he was a doll.
But he is, in fact, made out of wood.
Mm. Okay.
And he kind of lets that fall for a little bit, and then he brings it back up. And he looks like a normal person again. He
So
says,
where are you really?
he kind of looks over to his left and up to the balcony, and you see at a table there's a chair pulled out, but there's nobody sitting in it. And then he just kind of waves a little bit, and the
Do
man
I see someone sitting in it?
appears. You do now, yeah.
With
You
my
see,
eye, though?
yeah. Well,
My
he
special
appears
eye.
anyways. He appears anyways, and you can see exactly the same person that's standing before you is standing up there, or is sitting up there. He says, "Hello."
And just to be clear, this is Howder is the only one that can see this.
No, he showed
No,
it
no.
to everybody.
He is
Okay,
waving.
just making sure. I didn't know if Howder's eye gave him the ability to see this guy invisible in the chair or not.
So this guy wasn't invisible? That's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
What?
I was confused. I thought he was.
He was invisible.
No, he
Okay,
Okay.
and
but he
then
revealed
moved.
himself to all of
Yeah.
us then.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
just asking.
He
I
would
was trying to
probably
discern if
not
he, like,
necessarily
teleported or
be
something.
he would probably not necessarily be within 30 feet of you. So I don't know if you would have seen him with your eye prior to that. But yeah, he just kind of waves, and then after he stops waving, he like disappears. And so
Should we just go join him at that table? Seriously.
Yeah,
Let's just
go
go
sit
join
at
him.
that
Give him
table.
a slap on the back, sit down, and order some brews.
the
I
doll
want to
version
sit in
of
that
him,
chair.
the wooden version of him rather, raises his hand as you guys kind of like start to get up or whatever, and he's like, no, that's fine. It'd be best if there weren't two of me. I actually kind of do business in this town, so let's keep it simple.
Let's keep it simple, Mr. Woodman.
You do business in such a small town.
A lot of people come through these parts. You'd be surprised. So I've answered one question. Do I get one of my own, or is this more of a interrogation?
If you want.
Depends what the question is.
Ask away.
It seemed to me as if you intended to go to the Hollow Peaks and strike down these illithid. Why would you want to do such a thing?
It's not our immediate goal, I wouldn't say.
Definitely not the immediate goal.
But it is a goal.
There is but one illicit, as far as I'm aware.
Well, as far as I'm aware, there's many. That being said,
One that we want to kill is what she means.
I'll
That
point to
makes more
how they'd be
sense.
like, that. I do not have a blood feud against all illicit.
I mean, they are horrible, disgusting creatures that are
Yes.
innately evil.
sure.
So it's not like I would feel too bad about taking out a few others.
Right. But I wouldn't willingly throw my life away for no reason.
And this is a little bit of a blood feud. One of them attacked one of our brothers.
I'm sorry to hear that. I imagine he didn't survive.
No. That's Mendout's doing.
But he's with us always.
Of course.
Misha's gonna actually snicker a little bit and elbow Yane hard in the rib. That's funny.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, fire away.
How
Fire
think
away,
that,
next question.
Regardless of your intentions, we have things we need to attend to and can't be gallivanting off to the maw at this point in time.
Sure. If that is how you wish to proceed, that is certainly within your realm of capability. Although I will say, if you have any task that you wish to accomplish in the mall, rather, the Hollow Peaks, I would be wary. It is a dangerous place, especially for those who are inexperienced in its passages.
Is there a timetable on your quest into the maw? We may have business there yet, just not currently pressing to us. Would we be able
I
to call upon
suppose
you and
I could
venture in
delay my
together at
journey.
a later time?
I had hoped to accomplish this before winter set in. I could wait until after,
It's
but I
not
don't see
my
any reason why I would want to.
it's not my understanding that going into the mall and coming out is such an easy task that would be completed within the week or so till winter.
We're not going that deep into the mall, but you're right. It can be a dangerous task. But if we're quick, I still suspect it should only take us a week and a half's time to 2 weeks, as I had stated before.
You see.
How do you know our intents lie in the Hollow Peaks? We never told you as much, but you speak of it as if we did.
Sounds like you wish to go there, and sounds like you're intending to take on these creatures. Well, I don't know what other tasks you have in mind. I am concerned for your safety. Those are dangerous places.
Why are you concerned for our safety? We're just other pawns to you, I would imagine, in your quest to find whatever it is you seek in the maw. What special value do we have versus anybody else?
No more than any other person. I just don't think that we should throw away life needlessly.
Interesting.
Do you not agree it seems a little bit odd that you'd care if we were to die, but you shed not even, didn't seem to give one fuck at all about this
You're
man
with the
in
same
your
order
order?
as Mandout, and yet he cared not and tried to play with us in terms of our lives. So you gotta understand that
Mandau
we're a little
Dwyer was sadistic
sus on that.
and not necessarily a good man in any aspect of the word. But, and I will key you in on this, I do not suspect that you've killed the true Mandau Dwyer. He likes to play with dead bodies. You see the skull. They call me the artificer. He is the necromancer.
Okay.
We
It's not
suspect
too
as much as
shocking.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unsurprising, but good to know. If we should join you on your quest later on into the maw, if we should decide to, how will we call upon you?
Well, I don't suppose I will leave my businesses here in Pixx for some time. So I suppose you could return to this very place, and perhaps we would cross paths again.
So you don't think Mandout's dead? So, do you know where we could find him? Because if
I-
he's alive, he's going to be coming for us, you see. That much I'm sure of. He didn't achieve what he was after.
I don't mean to speak for the rest of the party, but if you say that we might not have killed the real Mandout, but you can point us to the direction of the real Mandout where we can end this once and for all, you might be able to sweeten the deal for us.
Yes, I think I would be interested in that.
Sweeten the deal in that
Make us more
you've-
interested in being more
we'd
privy
be
to your
very agreeable.
cause and owe you something.
Currently, the idea of treasures in the mall don't really do a whole lot for us, you must understand. But Getting manned out might be a whole nother story.
Avenging our brother is much more appealing to us than treasures.
When last I spoke with him, he had a number of balls in the air, as I would say. And he could be a number of places. Or it could be a part of him that is in any of these places. I could make a couple of suggestions, but I don't know the location of the true Mendoutweir.
You cannot
If
track
that's the
members
case.
of your order.
No, especially. Actually, that's a trait of these robes.
Hmm.
I'm surprised you didn't know that.
I had a suspicion.
I cannot scry on him in particular, but if I knew of an object that he might have in his possession, I could attempt to. Unfortunately, nothing comes to mind.
Would he need to get his robes back? Does it matter at all?
I'd suspect these are either a duplicate, but they could be the originals. And if it is his original, he doesn't necessarily need it back, but he probably wants it back. It's kind of like a sign, or it is a sign that he is part of the organization, but it's not required to enter any meetings or gatherings. It's kind of like a reward and a rite of passage. I see here you wear the ring around your neck, like many novices do. That puzzle box, you've not yet finished it? You seem quite capable for somebody who hasn't finished their first puzzle box.
I haven't really given it too much of a go. That's not true. But I've been a bit busy, constantly, every, single day, either traveling or fucking killing bad motherfuckers.
I did not mean to disparage. You're still young. You have time to make a great name for yourself.
What do you know of these boxes?
A puzzle box, usually handed down from one master to an apprentice, and usually meant to teach a lesson. Oftentimes, they'll have a keepsake, or if your master was particularly wealthy, a magical item, even.
Well, I didn't get this from any master of mine. It's from a man in Skull. I asked to borrow it.
I see. Well, perhaps there is something very nice in there then. But if he allowed you to borrow it, I suspect maybe not. In any case, if you're declining my venture, that is okay. If you're saying that if I provide information on Mendoutweir and his possible locations, that you'll assist me immediately, then perhaps we can make a deal. But if it's more that I'll provide you the information and maybe you'll come back, I don't really see any benefit to me in this scenario.
Well, it depends what quality of information you can give. I'm not saying that you will have to give us the information and we will then decide. I'm just saying, I don't know. Do you think you actually have something worth our time, or? Because if not, then I don't think it's going to happen.
Let me ask you a specific question. You seem to think that he could be in any multiple number of positions at one time. How many possible places do you think he could be at one time?
Oh, I don't
Best
think
guess.
he's in any number of multiple locations. At best, I'd say Mandout Dweer is capable of maybe 4. And since you destroyed one, I would say
How
3.
far apart do you believe they would be? In your knowledgeable opinion. Maybe not perfect, but your best guess. How far apart across this country could he be from one image to another?
500 miles.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to track down.
Yes, I would imagine so. Realistically, you could probably get to one of them if you traveled quickly.
If we get to one and we get something off of him, like say blood or hair or the whatever, would you be able to track the original?
No. The blood and hair that each of the fakes have is not Mandout Dweer's. So it wouldn't work.
You know anything about the Temple of Lycidas?
No. What's the Temple of Lycidas?
That's what Mandout Schmier is looking into, harassing us about. He said it was. He made it seem as though he was tasked to do this by your order. Is that not actually how things work?
Some of us have been given proper goals, I would say, and some of us more freedom. It's very possible that Mandout Dweer was tasked to accomplish this. Is there something of import in this Sanctum of Lycidas? Temple of Lycidas, as you put it?
He seems
No.
to think so. But we ventured in and found nothing but decay.
Such is the nature of ruins. Sometimes you hit big, but oftentimes they've been emptied by people who've come before you.
Well, if we're not gonna fucking do this, we should just probably head on our way, right?
I think
Yeah,
that
we're not
this
going to get a
guy is
reliable
we
determination.
can, regardless of whether or not he's completed his task by the time we are ready, we can contact him at the Pixx Inn whenever we would like to. And he does seem to have information, generally, where we would want it if we ask him, in terms of what we're looking for if he has a task for us. So I don't think that what he's asked us to do is of immediate importance to us. And I think we need to keep going to the Hollow Peaks, personally.
Yes, our current goal, our current pressing goals are very pressing.
I also feel like,
And in the Hollow Peaks, as I suspected.
yeah, I think another thing too is, this guy's come here, and there's not collusion or anything, but we've gotten to Pixx, and then there were 2 tasks set before us at the same time that brought us away from the Hollow Peaks. One towards Solura with the Bard, and one toward the Maw with this man. I think we really need to stay focused on what we want to accomplish instead of getting sidetracked on little side quests that might slightly benefit us, and really progress what we want to actually come here to do. That's my
Yeah, but
opinion.
sometimes that's the DM saying you need to do some shit or you're gonna get fucking destroyed.
I mean, sure, but that's the classic railroad versus, I don't know. There could be another thing. Personally, right now, maybe that's the case. I'm not convinced.
Yes, I'm also concerned.
Everything that I've ever heard about the Maw is like, it will fuck you up if you're not like super powerful. I don't think, that's just what I've heard about that from this region. And there's a reason that there's no fucking road through there. You know what I mean? It's just, that's just my opinion on it. And that doesn't mean that we have to go with that. That's just my thoughts.
The mall was, like I said, already a place I didn't want to go, but
Then it sounds like we've made an agreement, or you've made an agreement, to not take my deal. If that's the case, and he kind of pauses to hear a yes or a no definitively.
Yes, but we're not opposed to doing it in the future once our pressing matters
I think
are.
we could do business in the future, and I'll stand up and extend my hand to shake his, if he'll take it.
He shakes you woodenly, and it's very strong grip.
Woodenly. Okay.
Says, I wish you luck on your journey. If I can be of any aid, you know where to find me.
Hey, real quick. You ever do any business with some Cambion?
It's possible.
But not that you're aware of? Or are you saying you don't want to say?
Is there a particular Cambion you have in mind? There are a number of them.
Yeah, his name is Nash.
Yes, I know Nash. He's played here a number of times. What do you want to know about him?
Not a whole lot. Just was curious. He asked us to kill Mandao Dwyer.
And
That doesn't
deliver
surprise
him an
me.
orb to him
Mandao
and
Dwyer
his 2 compatriots.
has crossed a number of people. Like I said, he is in no way a good man. His honesty and his loyalty leave much to be desired.
Yeah, I didn't really get the feeling this Nash guy was much of a good dude either, but,
The nature of being half demon and half drow.
Oh god.
That being said, I've met plenty of men much worse than Nash.
All right, then. Thanks for the info.
Indeed. Again, good luck on your travels. And he leaves. Returns
How do you
to
know?
his his full body counterpart, and they both retire to a room. But with that, I think we'll end this session unless you guys want to discuss about what your journeys are ahead of you. But I think you guys all have
I think
I
we're
think
in
Joe's
agreement.
done.
I
Pretty
think we're
solid
moving
mind.
on towards the Hollow Peaks, right?
Yep, heading straight towards Jelred and into the Hollow.
We can always
Peaks.
fuck around for a while on Jarn if we want to.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Who's
we're
I think we
Yeah.
could steer clear of
we've got a
Jarn.
way to go. Like we're in Pixx.
We can't
and,
steer clear of Jarn.
I mean, we
I
got
don't want to run into
we got
Camden.
250 miles between where
I
we
mean,
are. and-
Jarn is like probably one of the biggest cities in the land. Like, significantly so.
it's like a capital will blend in.
The way that I understand the way that Thomas the Marker set up is that the size of the circle does seem to be directly correlated to the size of the city.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere we've come from is literally we've never seen a city of the size of Jelrin before, if that's to be believed. Like even Moro was a huge city, and Jelrin is larger.
Yeah, I mean, Jelrin would probably be even larger on the map than it is.
Sure.
I've been to
represented.
Jarn.
Okay.
Yes.
My
no,
character
I
has.
understand.
He had an apartment in Jelrin.
Yeah, but my character has.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'm
like-
sorry. I thought you meant you had in other campaigns. No, I gotcha.
No.
That's where you went to study with your dude or whatever? Or one of the places?
It's one of the places, yeah.
Yeah. Alright. So you're familiar with it. Cool.
So
Uh-huh.
our adventures will continue on to Joran, and they will continue their
So
their
let's-
quest to
Besides, we're gonna
uh,
get fucking ambushed by
free Lycidas.
Yeah.
By
the people-
Mandel.
All
No, we're gonna
And the
get ambushed
Cambions.
way before we get to Jarn, so I wouldn't worry about it.
we're definitely gonna get some disfigured men probably
Oh,
on the road.
100%. Anyway,
Oh,
we'll
Like,
yeah.
I'm not
easily.
scared of them anymore.
Oh no!
No, it's gonna be
God.
no.
They
We're
might
gonna get
be-
ambushed by the people that fucking little halfling guy said we're gonna fuck us up
Wallish?
if we turned them in.